Mic check, round. What's going on? I see y'all up in there early. We a little running behind. 100 of y'all already waiting. I know.
How you gonna say you see them early, but we late?
No. We late. We late. What's going on? Chris Hart, Joe Max,
it's
Stitch.
not addict. I see the chat saying it's addict.
Nah, we good.
Wow.
We good.
Immediately blame
Immediately blame Daddy.
And his camera's on. He good money.
He good money. Right check. How our levels? How my levels? Hustle. What's up, bro? Audio's good? Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Yeah, we gonna get this rolling. We got Justin in the building. We about to start in a second, so we just gonna get right
Yo, Chris, you ready
to
for
it.
this work today? You
Oh,
better get
man.
to Work on God.
All right, we see y'all in a minute. And we are live. Iron Lord Podcast. LordCognito here talking about the latest with Advanced GG. There's a lot of things going on with the new product line. Let's get right to it. So we got that focus line, y'all. This is that standard. This is what we use right now. Kind of our caffeine substitute. And what we usually do right now when we're gaming, we don't use coffee anymore. We're utilizing this focus. On deck number 2, you already know this is my favorite right here, the energy line. You already know birthday cake, one of my absolute favorites. Completely delicious. This is a pre-workout equivalent. And also doesn't use beta alanine, so you don't get the jitters and stuff like that. So it's really good for that. And then the new, we got that hydration line, y'all. This is really good for people who don't like caffeine, who want an electrolyte substitute, and it is really sugar-free, absolutely delicious. So you got your 3 choices. Once again, you know Cog Lover is sour. You already know, and we're doing this right now. So go get yourself to advancedgg.com. Use code IronLord on the checkout. This is something I use all the time. We got to support Advanced GG. Great products if you want to get your workout on. Even if you don't work out, you're just gaming, you need that focus. And again, the hydration line for those who don't want caffeine, no sugar, electrolytes, you're good to go. LordCognito here, Iron Lord Podcast. Peace.
I'ma just chill and watch them and eat snacks in the attic. I wanted to chill with the pack and be like a young wolf, but then they would mistake me for addict. If I can imagine it's cool to give you some advice, then invite your girl to your squadron. Cause if you don't give her that option, you gon' be single player like Sovereign. You gon' get tossed in the bushes by King David. Royalty and not a pretender. Detrimental to an elemental, what's an avatar to a knee bender? I gotta be me though. I know it's my destiny, word to Cognito. Who cares if you fly, if you still a mosquito? You swear you ain't stuntin', but really be Steve-O. You like to collect stuff and that's cool, but I got bad news. Even if you really was that dude, King David still be the king of the statues. Since a juvenile, I've been cursed with a curse to be musical. And if you hate it, we'll meet in the crucible. Other than that, then it's cool and it's beautiful. We let you know that your dreams are pursuable. Whatever you wanna do, then it's doable. If you got work on a Sunday, it's suitable. Cause you can listen to this in your cubicle on the Lord's Day. Woo. If you got work on a Sunday, it's suitable. Cause you can listen to this in your cubicle on the Lord's Day.
All right. Mic check, Mike.
Your next Xbox podcast.
How you gonna do that as soon as the mic get hot? Like,
I did that on purpose.
I can't believe
Podcast.
I can help make you better if you just.
I can take you to the next
I
level.
can take you to the next level.
No,
I see the floors in the style.
Did you see when he posted the picture of
we hot.
the?
We hot.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
He said, okay, we still going in.
Somebody needed some pledge in their life.
Oh, yeah, I peeped that.
No.
Anyway, hear ye.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. And here we are live. Welcome to the Iron Lords Podcast, LLC, and also live on lordsofgaming.net, episode number 266. It's another glorious Sunday. We're back at the round table on the Lord's Day. I'm very excited about our special guest, and we've got the business of esports. A Black Panther game by EA, Microsoft and Sony financials, and Halo Infinite. Why you laughing?
We talking money.
I bet you got a lot to say there. And Halo Infinite Forge leaks to discuss, so we gonna get right into it. I want to introduce a Lord who is not only a rising star within intellectual property law and the entertainment industry, but is truly a multifaceted talent in video games, reminding us all that prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome. Introducing the entertainment and esports attorney of the Jacobson Law Firm and the author of the Essential Guide to Business Law, Esports, and Professional Video Gaming. The Lord of Gaming Talent and legit professor of esports business. And the only man that we call JMJ without the Kango or the shell toe Adidas. Live from New York and kind enough to make his debut into the realm of the Lords. My man, Lord Justin M. Jacobson. How we doing, sir?
Good, man. Thanks for having me. That was a glorious, intro. I don't think I've had one so star-studded, so I appreciated it.
You can play that in the lawyer meetings, man, just to make people
Right, when I walk in, just be like, play. This is me. Next. Let's go. Next question.
We need 33 and a third for that.
Yeah.
That's every Tuesday our way.
You're doing your intellectual property stuff already. I
We're
see.
gonna do that early.
We licensing him. Okay, I see what we doing. I see what we doing.
Hey, he understands. He respects. He said 33 and a third. He looked over like,
Big money talk. Big money talk.
standing right there.
So Justin, man, how you doing, man? You've been moving and shaking, and also like, what games you been playing, man? What's been going on with you?
Good, man. Yeah, I'm definitely, always been a big 2K guy, so that's always kind of been my game of choice. And, I have this mobile game, this Marble Contest of Champions that just has just like been my like side obsession for 6-7 years. And
How much money?
How much money you spent? I know that. I heard that game dangerous.
You gotta ask that question.
We got it.
my wife might listen to this, so I'm gonna plead the fifth on that answer. I've gotten a lot better recently. Let's just say that.
We have a little confidentiality thing that I won't tell anybody.
Never mind the hundreds of people listening.
Let's just say that, I read some stat that the quote unquote average whale is 500 to 1,000 on that game. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
All right.
That's about right.
He hit them,
He
hit the target.
He didn't tell. He didn't say cadence though. He just said just 500 to 1,000. He didn't say how long that goes.
What I love is the pause between. He's like, sounds about right.
What I like is he gave you lawyer talk.
Yeah, that's a fact.
He didn't nail it down, and he didn't tell you anything around it, but he gave you a roundabout thought of it, right? So,
No doubt, man. No doubt. It's good to see you. Good to have you in the realm. We got to respect your time. But let's get on with it. And you already know we got the 4 horsemen of gaming, the original lords here of the realm at the round table. Kind of time-sensitive intro because we got to respect Lord Justice.
Yeah, King.
Yo,
then just
shots.
give me your time and shut up.
Shots. Damn. All right. Yeah, King.
Yeah, right. Don't come for me unless I send for you.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
wasted
hit him.
time.
Yeah, we just
all
now
out of
time
time.
emoji. Anyway, my co-host with the co-host, my brother from another mother, the difficult game conqueror, lord of his own world, and the how of the young wolf. My man, Lord Addict of the Addict Show. How we doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. What you guys doing?
Well, you got a time on the wow.
I did
We got a
7
new
seconds, man. Yeah.
All right.
7 seconds.
That's shots fired.
Yours,
That's
King,
shots fired. All right, cool. I see what
You
you're doing.
done? You done?
Are
Yeah,
you
I'm
finished
done.
or are you done?
All right, quiet.
And
I'm gonna need your whole 15 minutes on mine.
And of course, we have our most technical gaming lord, the solo gamer who lives for the single player selfish experience, and also the Sostradamus. Stop putting that camera up, that time up. The Lord of Clarity and Lord Patriot of the Iron Bank. My man, Lord Sovereign, how we doing? Your Addict is killing me with that clock.
You can have it up all he like. Okay.
Be quick.
I'm about to bust that clock. Pause.
Sav, how we doing, sir?
Doing all right, man. Yeah, it was a good week up until Friday. I lost my aunt unexpectedly to me, and because I just had no idea that was coming, and that was tough.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, beyond that, whatever. Just not whatever, but tell the people you love that you love them, because you just never know.
No, it's real. It's real.
But beyond that, let me see. Papa Gabe, Giveth, as always, Papa gave. So I'm getting ready for. I'm excited for Saints Row, the remake coming out in August, and also still Gotham Knights. I still want to see what WB Montreal has up their sleeve. So, in preparation for that, I'm playing Saints Row the Third on my Steam Deck.
Okay,
it's beautiful, 60 FPS. That game is bonkers. I never played it when it first came out because I was so tired of that type of open world by the time that game came out.
Yeah,
but going back to it now, so much fun. And the same with Arkham Origins. I'm playing that as well, and it's like that game's really good. You know, I don't understand the hate on that game. Like it does everything that you expect from a Batman game. So really, I don't know, but I'm having fun with that.
No doubt, you already know. Salute, glad you could make it. We know you had a lot
going
on, and appreciate you, brother. And of course, we have the Incredible Hulk of this, aka the XS Gamer, the prophet of Xbox.
Swami.
King of the statues, who demands nothing less than that premium experience. It is the leader of the fraud alert movement. Beloved Lord King, how we doing, sir?
Better than Jose Benavidez. Shout out to everybody that came out last night with the support.
Yes.
I love it. Combat Talk is a fun thing that we do. Like I tell you, everybody that shows up for the first 1K people that do show up, there's a drink inside your refrigerator.
Drink.
Brought to you from me. It's your favorite drink, so tune in. Yeah, I'm like
have another one if you want.
No, that one they have to send me 33 and a 30.
Zero calories.
I said first drink is on me. Next drink is on you. Yeah, man. Danny Garcia, he's one of my favorite fighters to watch. I don't know. He has an infectious smile. I love his style. And yesterday I got a chance to see a little bit more of Danny Garcia. I got a chance to see a wrinkle in his game. A Danny Garcia that couldn't hurt his opponent that was in front of him, because we know Danny Garcia has very heavy hands. And what he did yesterday to break down Jose Benavidez was sort of masterful. He's in his first time at that weight class, super welterweight, 154, and he boxed. Danny was on his toes. He was the counter puncher, slick boxer dude that showed me a different wrinkle to his game that I haven't seen, that he didn't have to show when he was at welterweight. And it was something nice to see. So again, I don't agree with his pops being his trainer, but
So you see him rejuvenated, King? Because I was kind of reaching that point with him where it felt like he's an old young fighter. You know what I mean? Like he'd been through a lot of wars and it wasn't quite the same. So you see him sort of rejuvenated.
No, I still see him as that the third rung dude, right? You
Gatekeeper.
you have superstars, you have stars, and then you have those champions. That's right there, right? So, and on any given night, he can beat a champion.
Right.
Can he beat a superstar? I don't believe so, because anytime he did step in the ring with a star, he lost. So, he beat Zab Judah. So I put Zab Judah in his category as a champion. So that's great. I finish.
What you play?
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Ooh, let's go.
I was so sucked into that game.
Yes.
The story is very, very heartfelt. It's a heartbreaking story because there's a lot of plot twists in it. It'll let you believe one thing until you get to a precipice, and it's not that thing.
Facts.
It is really. I don't even know how they get fired or how they get exercised out after making a game of that quality. I mean, I'm talking about the quality of the build, the graphics, storyline, the connectivity of the game, the level of banter that going back and forth.
Quill,
incredible stuff. And then these things do have repercussions inside the game, because if you don't do a certain thing for certain people, or you do it in a wrong manner or whatever, it has actual repercussions.
Tell me the 80s vibe. When you even launched the game, I'm like, I'm old. I had everything in his room.
Yes. And tell me about the music selection.
The music,
I knew all the music.
all that. I was like, yo, this is fire. Sorry.
It's absolutely dope. So I did that. And also I I'm a slave right now.
What
and
you do? What
I'm sick and tired of these season passes. And I feel like I must log in and do work in these season passes. I got Destiny. I got Fall Guys. I don't know why the hell I put that on.
I'm on the Fall Guys grind.
That sound like that addict. See that eye addict guy? That sound like he spent some money right there. That's that eye.
Yes,
that was the Justin eye where he was talking about the analytics at 2K where he was.
Well,
I mean that mobile game. Yeah.
I've officially abandoned a couple of the season passes.
So now you got one.
I've jumped off.
That sound like he blew his own check.
Yeah, but you got to think about it, right? You got to think these companies get their money up front, and it's up on you to finish off the stuff, the content there. But then they take it away if you don't do it in a timely fashion.
Yeah,
that's why I like Halo, because they let you retain the season pass and do whatever whenever you want.
And that's a good thing. And I haven't heard that, So they're good. That season pass I brought from them is good. But that's about it. That's all I've been doing. Attic and I have been cooking up some stuff.
Okay.
All right, guys. And I know we say it. I don't care, Attic. You can put that up.
Yeah, his time is crazy.
I told you.
His time is crazy.
Your minutes. So your minutes is in there. And I'm taking Sovereign's extra minutes. So
I ain't get my minutes off, sir.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna slide into Cogs a little minutes.
Yes.
But yeah. And Attic putting that, he made it go longer. See, he's idiotic sometimes. But Attic and I is going to do a lot of shows that's with you guys. So we're going to encourage, and it's going to be, I'm going to tell you ahead of time, so you don't say, oh, I didn't warn you. Patreon members get the first preference, then Realm members is coming in hot second. And if there's any spaces left, we're going to do a community night where we're going to pick a movie, and we're going to have everybody come over and we're going to watch a movie. We're going to go to the movie theater. We're going to have all that stuff. So you guys, it's going to be one hell of a night. All right. So you're going to have details on that stuff coming up. But I want you all to know that now and early.
Yeah, put the bucket in.
They're doing that. This is about to be soon.
No doubt. And of course, we have the gaming ninja himself, the Shinobi, LordCognito, spreading that realness in the realm of the ILP, not telling you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. Shout out to Mr. Matty Plays, who is back from the back injury. Defining Duke came back this week on Last Stand Media. Good show. Get a chance to hear him. And then we had a special Defining Duke Ultimate with a special member of the realm. Lord Sov completes the ILP Defining Duke invasion. And we had a great discussion. We were talking about potential acquisitions after Activision Blizzard for Microsoft, and Sov came through with flying colors. Man, I really enjoyed that episode, man. You did your thing, bro. You muted.
I was sorry, the Bronx.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they was killing you. It was like, where? They said, is Sov doing it from his block? I mean, we hear cops. And what's happening? Where is he recording? Yo, somebody went. It was kind of funny. I was like, damn, it came from my man.
I was in a high rise, man. But, anytime we recorded on Sunday, after ILP. So, the weekend, summertime in New York City.
It was popping off.
The street is popping.
It was popping. No doubt.
But yeah, it was an awesome time.
Yeah, a lot of fun, a lot of good reviews. So like I said, now all the lords have been in the realm. For me, last word, shout out to Last Word, Ebontis, Ty Guy Travis, had my man Shadow pull up, had a good skill-based matchmaking debate on PvP and what's coming to Destiny next season. Also for what I've been playing, MLB The Show got my blue, because the Mets run New York. Fix your face.
So confused on that one.
Two W's and you think you guys listen, man.
Fix your face.
Brother.
Listen, Yankee country, my friend.
Oh, yes, hold on. You a Jet, Justin? You a Jet fan?
I'm a Jet and Yankee fan.
You're supposed to be a Jet. You're supposed to be a Jet and a Met. That's supposed to. You're supposed to have that pain.
I'm not putting two losers together.
Wait, Justin. Justin. I didn't know you were for the Bronx.
No, my dad grew up on the Bronx.
Oh, okay, so you get a pass. You get a pass.
So
you're a Yankees fan, right?
So yeah, Yankees. Since,
Yo, you kids, y'all got alignment
from the cradle.
He's Yankee and Jets like you. Kids.
That's right. That's how you mix it.
That's right. You offset it. The pain.
You offset.
I got you.
It's called vodka and coke.
See, Justin.
You mix vodka and vodka.
See, Justin, how I did it, I was like, I was a Met fan first because I watched them as a kid winning '86, and after they've been terrible for so long, I said no more New York teams after. The Mets was enough. I was like, okay.
Now with me, I was a Met fan growing up.
Yeah, I remember.
A Met fan.
Yeah, I remember. You was with me. Yeah, I remember.
And then as you get older, you start understanding demographics and where you literally live.
And the team get hot.
Yeah, no, not even
Yankees
that.
get
Not
hot.
even that.
Yeah, after Don Madley retired.
I was a fan when they sucked.
Right.
I was a fan when they had Jesse Barfield.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So,
Yes.
but I'm asking my dad, I'm like, Dad, why aren't we Yankee fans? We live literally blocks away from the stadium. And then he came, oh, the Yankees have been a racist team.
Shout out to Pop Duke. Shout out to Pop Duke. Keeping it loyal.
Racist? He was like, back in the 20s. Back in the 20s, they were all racist. They were all racist back then. So, yeah, I couldn't. So I tried to be on the line with both of them. But I except for Cog, I've been generally surrounded by insufferable Met fans that are just dumb. I had to I'm Yankees all the way. Yankees all the way.
How you feel
I'll
about
never forget them losing the playoffs back-to-back years on the last day.
Oh.
When I was in college, and everyone was just so mad. I'm just laughing. Like, that's what the Mets do.
Yeah, we losing the most heartbreaking. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
You do.
I just can't wait for the season to fall
I know because it'll happen and then they come back again. So I gotta get
right.
Met fans. We pop off now with the first half.
That's
And we
right.
talk our talk. So when we,
It's like Sony fans.
Oh damn! Here we go. Anyway, moving on because time on me. I had to go put the time on me. But yeah, I've been doing because of my Mets love. I'm doing a whole bunch of MLB The Show 2022, my March to October, getting my season going. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm gonna finish that. Probably switch to
Who did that for you though?
Oh well, shout out to Game Pass. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to
Phil
Game
Dominus Maximus Aurelius Spencer got you. He hooked you up with that day one
Listen,
bustle. What was that? What's the name of that game?
MLB The Show 2020.
That's a Sony product.
Listen, shout
like
out to
that.
Phil because he did promise me that in E3 2015 that they will correct the simulation baseball game situation. Phil told me to my
brain.
face. Shout out to Phil. Whatever
Did he
y'all did
ever?
with MLB, I love that contract. Y'all finally have a
Bang,
simulation.
Hayachi face.
You savage. You turned it into something else. I see what you do. But
I turned it
anyway.
into what exactly it is.
Anyway, but I get to play my Mets. And then Naraka Blade Point, man. Naraka Blade Point is my game. Justin.
When you gonna invite me to play?
Yo, we got to schedule up. Our schedules are different. But at the end, no, bro, you got to play.
I'm always online. It's just I'm invisible because dudes be doing
No,
weird
same thing.
things.
You know how it'd be crazy. But it's funny because I want Justin's take on it eventually. Maybe not this show, but because this thing, I didn't know how big an esports thing this thing was in Japan. Like the Rocket Blade Point is a thing over there. You know what I'm saying? China, Japan. So yeah, I've been rocking that. They got a new map coming up with a new campaign mode, and yeah, that's been pretty much it. Let's get the super chats and solve. Let's get rocking.
Bet. Hold on 1 second. I copy pasted these. So we started with Eliad Shlomovich, member for 27 months. Thank you, my brother. Can't believe it's been more than 2 years since I've tuned. Always a pleasure to tune into this fantastic show. Keep up the good work, brothers. Thank you, brother.
Salute. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
We got Donald Taku, $10 super chat. Just your weekly reminder that Nintendo's 2022 exclusive lineup is better than the entire PS5 series lineup since launch, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is the only competition for Elden Ring this year.
Yo, Switch Gang is in the building today.
Yo, make sure you get your cataract prescription playing those games.
Well, are you implying that the resolution is not up to?
I'm just implying that there's a lot of doctors that's eating off this plate.
Do we got to bring the eye guy, Dr. Eye Guy, back on the show?
right.
King,
Okay.
you know what? Like I haven't even seen the game, and I'm implying with you, man. It's not there.
Switch coming in hot. Continue, so.
Vaseline
Very
is
hot.
On
called.
fire. That's where it's coming in.
Continue. Plus speculation. What up? Continue.
Then we got Eagles fan 76, $5 super chat. Jim Ryan, are you committed to keeping the PS5 at the current price or raising it?
Here we
Jim
go.
Ryan, this is a quote from Jim Ryan. Let me get back to you. No further questions. Conference over.
I don't know if that interview was confirmed.
But you know,
People making their own narratives, but okay. Moving on.
hold on a second. Let me run back. There we got Hargeet Sadi.
Oh, the homie, Hargeet. What's
Hargeet
up, brother?
Sadi. Salute to the Lords. Welcome to the realm, Justin. Condolences off. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Cog, since you like Yakuza, what the hell is LAD?
Like a Dragon.
Like a Dragon. I'm sorry. Yeah, you should really play 0 through 6 as well. Worth it. It's not like there are any games coming out.
Oh, damn. Well, I
Yeah,
got
0
something
through
to
6 are very different, but then Like a Dragon is definitely action games.
Hold on.
What happened there?
Hargeet Shani, how you gonna ask us? Oh, it's like, yo, you like that turn-based, that RPG stuff? We're gonna have you play something completely
Different. Yeah.
completely different.
Shout out to Huggy though. He tried to get me get on my Yakuza. You know what I mean? It is what it is. What else we got?
That's it. Yeah, no, we're caught up.
All right, cool. Let's get this rocking. Guest has been extremely patient through our intro. So now that we've gotten into what the Lords have been playing, I want to focus on Lord Justin, his video game system history, his journey into the entertainment business and intellectual property, and of course, what led him to becoming one of the most prominent video game attorneys in the esports scene. So, Lord Justin, let's start from the very beginning. What were some of the first video game systems you had, and what got you into gaming?
Well, yeah, so I've definitely been a lifelong gamer. Started with Nintendo. Oldest memories of like holding the duck hunt gun against the screen because Widow Justin, I guess, thought that would make me get the duck quicker if I had the gun right against the TV
Physical
screen
contact.
to move it quick. So, then from there to Sega to, N64 and Xbox. Always been an Xbox guy, and now I have Xbox and PlayStation. And, it's always kind of been part of, what me and my friends do. Big, Madden, 2K, FIFA, StarCraft and StarCraft 2 is definitely my kind of, computer game of choice, I would say. And, yeah, I mean, it was definitely like every year it'd be like, I need the new 2K and the new Madden. And, it was just kind of like.
What's guy?
Yeah.
So let's slow it down for a second because you're moving like light speed.
Yeah, he going through
All
it.
right.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna peg you down. Pause. What was your first console?
Nintendo.
All right. Nintendo what?
Nintendo what?
Yeah, exactly.
The NES.
Don't let
NES?
these people bully you. If you don't want to tell us, you don't
Yeah,
have
the
to.
He's
Nintendo.
a lawyer, and I got to talk lawyer talk. Could you mind your business, please? Please
the
don't
Nintendo.
Thank
The
you.
Nintendo. Okay,
So you talk
okay.
about the NES, right?
NES,
The gray
yes.
one with the flip clamshell mouth.
Exactly. With
All
the
right,
duck
see, because he
hunt
say
gun.
the Nintendo, it could be the Super NES.
No, I never had that
You
one.
gotta corner him in because he a lawyer. He can wiggle and get around stuff, man. You gotta be real good with him. All right, pause. What was the first games that you was enjoying during that? Was that something that you got for Christmas, or what was your earliest experience with it?
I mean, I would say definitely played a lot of Duck Hunt, but I feel like that was probably when I was, a little bit younger. I would say Sega is probably when I really, got to
So you
it.
was rich.
Yeah. Damn! Pocket watching!
Hey, man.
Yo, you got it.
Pocket watching!
It was usually either or, right?
Well, no, this was later, I would say.
Okay.
Like Sega's a little bit later. But yeah, no, I mean, definitely was, Sega was a big one. So, like, NHL 94 was probably, like,
So
Ooh,
what?
greatest
so you
NHL
talking
ever.
about the Genesis?
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What? Okay. What made you look in the Genesis direction? I mean, because you're a Nintendo dude, and they brought you a lot of joy, right? You would say, right? What made you look over to the black box?
I don't know. I guess it was between like either Super Nintendo or Genesis, and I don't know. I guess Sonic was probably it was like you got the Sonic bundle, and
Nice.
I felt like Super NES. Like I didn't really even like that controller. Like
Really? The gray with the 4 and the
yeah, like I don't know. And then like definitely got obsessed with Sega. So Toe Jam and Earl, that Aladdin game
There
was
we go.
amazing. That was when the game that was when Game Genie actually made life amazing.
Shout out to Game Genie. Shout out to Game Genie getting them cheats off. Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I ain't
some
gonna
of them
let you
came in
skim
with
through.
pre-built-in cheats, and then you had to, go into the website and stuff like
But
that.
King, I don't want to let him skim through because
Yeah.
he said NHL 94, which is arguably the greatest hockey game of all time. They had the player license, the fights, the blood, the whole thing. Like, so would you say the Genesis, because of, let's be honest, the sports games were really superior at that time? Like the Lakers versus Celtics, I believe you had a bunch of times.
everything.
Yeah,
No,
like was the
everything.
sports scene really a part of why you got into the ecosystem, or was it just other things as well?
I mean, I think it was just other things as well. But like that was that game where like you had to outlaw that move where you went to the boards and spun around because you could score every time.
Yep.
So it was just like I was a big hockey guy. Playing roller hockey and stuff. So
Salute.
Oh, so you played real hockey?
yeah, roller hockey. Long
Okay,
Island
okay.
roller hockey, rich kid hockey. So not right. So
Yeah, see, I'm
not
telling you,
too
you gotta say it, man. You gotta say it.
King is he just trying to get the pocket watching going on. I already know what King
it's
doing.
not. You gotta say it.
Uh-huh.
Listen, because it formulates the narrative. You gotta
Uh-huh.
get to
Formulates your narrative.
His narrative, exactly.
It's not my narrative. He was affluent because he had these things. Let me tell you something. It was either or with your friends. You had the Nintendo dude, you go to his house. You had the Sega dude, you go to his house. Or you had my friend, which was Calvin, who had all that. So we all went to Calvin's house because Calvin had a little bit more money than we did. So he was our Calvin. This is what I'm talking about. Let's get back to our Calvin.
What is this sound effect? What is going on? What's happening?
Landing a plane?
Who's landing a plane on the ILP? Anyway.
I have no clue what that came from.
Yeah, that's Addict doing something. Anyway.
No, it really isn't.
Okay. Anyway, moving on. So
What did you hear? What did you hear?
It sounded like a
plane landing.
It sounded like a plane was just.
Are you sure you don't hear my AC?
Maybe that was that.
AC sound like that. You gotta take it back to the store.
Bro,
now.
that sounded like we was at LaGuardia. I was like, yo, what's happening
Is it
right
still
now?
continuing?
Nah, you good. It was
Oh,
like
no,
quick.
so it wasn't that.
It was a
Okay,
quick
it wasn't
landing and
that.
takeoff.
This is me.
Oh Lord. Anyway, moving on. Let's focus. So okay, so you got that. You do Genesis.
And then 64. I'd say
okay.
N64 is when it really kind of
Okay, now we talking.
leveled
young
up
boys.
to, Super Mario, Gretzky, NFL Blitz. I think Zelda Ocarina of Time was like the first game that I super got obsessed with. It was like, AOL fan club, like all that, like super upset. Like
Yes.
that was probably like the one that'll always like be like, yeah, Zelda Ocarina of Time. That's like
Let me ask the young contingent here, Lord Addict, do we approve of Lord Justin's N64 Love Ocarina? Is that satisfactory?
Yeah, but I'm just curious why you keep asking me every time someone brings up Ocarina of Time. Like I've answered this like 80 times.
Well, I just
If
find it
it's
interesting.
Ocarina of
I just
Time,
find it
agree.
interesting that you wake up as soon as someone say N64 and act like anything else didn't exist.
I wasn't in diapers.
That's
so, yeah,
nice.
I'm about it. Like,
I just find it interesting how you just perk up as soon as you hear N64. Anyway, moving on.
obviously.
Continue, Lord Justin. So okay, so you go from there. You got 64. You know what I mean?
then Xbox. And NBA Live 05 with Melo on it is still probably the best basketball game, video game. That was like the end of Live. Live 06 was just so gimmicky and terrible. I remember it was just like all the
the one with
stupid
Kyrie
power-up
Irving.
stuff.
The power ups.
Like that, you would just be, and that was then when 2K just blew it out the water from there.
Yeah. Now, let me just backtrack a second. You didn't. Did you mess with the Dreamcast at all when 2K debuted? Oh, so Dreamcast was not part of your. Okay.
No, Dreamcast, I was Xbox, not PlayStation again. Like, I felt like I would break that controller. I'm a big dude. Like, the Xbox controller is more me. So.
Yeah, the Duke is for the big head dude, for sure.
So, see,
Exactly.
so I'm starting to see a pattern here.
Here we go.
He saw the controller for the Nintendo and was like, "No, I like this big-handed controller." He saw the N64.
Oh, 64 had the big battering with the joint in the middle. Yeah, you're right, King. The controller draws him in. Yes.
Dictates your
Yes. Good
All right,
point.
Interesting.
All right, let the everyone know that the witness has stated the
Witness.
controller
Okay.
is
Controller width and girth matters most. Oh my God! Record state. Let the record state.
Let the record state. Pause.
That was good.
That was good.
That was
There
good.
we
This
go.
sounded like the Johnny Depp Amber Heard part 2.
No need to answer that question. So keep going.
Moving on. So there we go from there. Then you got kind of stay in the Xbox. And did you get the PlayStation eventually though? Did you?
I got PlayStation 4 eventually.
Okay.
And, that's probably what I, use the most.
He said
now.
eventually. He said it begrudgingly. Like,
Well, no, it's just like I always had Xbox 360, Xbox One, and then it was like, oh, well, I kind of need like a Netflix kind of thing in the bedroom, so let's get a PlayStation.
Nice.
yo, question.
Oh,
Yo,
Lord.
forget about it.
Here we go.
Stupid. I was
Here
gonna
we
ask
go.
him what game made him do it, but he said Netflix.
You messy, bro. You messy.
I love this guy.
Anyway, so
We
cool.
gonna clip that part right there. Netflix made you do
You
it.
want to clip that part for your Xbox propaganda, sir?
Yes,
We
sir.
not doing
We
that.
an Xbox podcast since we an
And that
Xbox
my
podcast.
friend, my friend Justin is the reason that they call us an Xbox podcast.
Exactly.
yeah.
Yep. That's why we all get looped in.
Because of me,
Exactly.
because of me.
So cool.
We guilty by association.
Guilty
That's
by
right. You lay down,
association.
And I
you
always
lay down
had-
with a dog, you get fleas.
The Game Boy and the Game Boy Color and the
Oh.
Game Gear.
Oh, you did the
like-
portables? Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
because you were at
He
sleepaway
was
camp,
rich,
so
I
you
told
needed
you.
it, right? To play, a lot of Tetris, definitely Pokemon
Tetris.
Red.
Oh my god.
Tetris is just like.
All right, he's out.
insane.
No,
He's out. We hit the button.
Tetris.
Justin.
Tetris is genius. game.
Thank you. Take
Hit
this
the-
boy.
Tetris is
now,
genius game. my
Imagine,
friend.
imagine, Addict got like, what's that thing off Fast and Furious that he had that little button that he pushes?
Hey,
He's like the
Jack
Exo Dubo.
Listen, talk about that Tetris, that portable
Don't
life.
talk to me about that.
Let's
Tetris.
go.
Time. We got time restraints.
I love that you do the portables. Like we don't get a lot of people talk about the impact of portables.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, mobile gaming's huge. Like it's like out of control. Like everyone, like I was, reading this book. It's like 2/3 of the world has a smartphone. Like of the world, not even America. Like of the world,
Facts.
So it's just like mobile gaming is just enormous.
No doubt, tremendous gaming history. I know we could get in there, talk for a long time. Hold on, look like someone got to shout somebody else. Someone did pick up some merch, but yeah, shout out to you got the classic ILP. You know what I'm saying? Salute to you on that merch. You already know.
Oh, that works.
Yeah.
But do I get my third for that? They must have got it because I was on.
Listen, man, we work out your deal after the show.
Yours was a pro bono situation.
He can get his money on the back end.
No, it's no money at all. It's a pro bono situation.
How do you tell him what his situation is? I don't think he spoke about this in pro bono. What do those words mean?
Read the fine print. Before you showed up.
Sales offer your like this. Let me stop.
Standard.
I've been playing around with like the shopping tab thing. Like you can actually put like stuff in the.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, because I just saw it pop up, so I just saw the.
Because I put it in the chat and then someone bought it, so clearly it works.
Salute. You already know. So now we obviously tremendous gaming history. We could sit there and talk all day about that. But I want to get into your career a little bit before, obviously, what you're kind of known for, which is esports and being in that field. But I want to talk about kind of music business. You got a little start there. And I want you to educate the people, like, how did that journey kind of start for you before gaming?
Well, yeah. So I've been an attorney, so an entertainment and esports attorney for the last decade, and I started more in the traditional music and sports world, working with some producers and songwriters and DJs and record labels and talent managers, all kind of individuals in that. A lot of hip hop and EDM, dance music, and just kind of grow up in that.
Give me some artists, though. Flex on them a little.
Anyway,
he's like, no,
he ain't doing that.
I like to be a little bit more unanimous about that kind of stuff.
No doubt. Fair enough. I ain't gonna blow you up.
The Warners and the Sonys and the Universals of the world, and Atlantic Records and all these major companies, and so really involved in all that, and did some stuff with some pro athletes, some NFL and NBA guys, and some fashion designers, some celebrity stylists, and just a lot of creative people. And always, as I mentioned, always been a lifelong gamer. So as I'm kind of on my journey, I'm working with all these different talent, and kind of what was going on in like the esports world, kind of came to my radar. Like I always knew that StarCraft and StarCraft 2 was huge in like South Korea and Asia, and that like over there those pro gamers were like LeBron and D Wade here, where like they're like superstar level kind of stuff. But it wasn't until about 6-7 years ago that I really start to see it growing here in North America and in the U.S. and kind of looked at what was out there and noticed a lot of the especially attorneys and professionals in it were all very similar. They all kind of had a very similar background, like born and bred esports and gaming people. Their clients were their former gamer friends, and I kind of came from working with Jets and Giants and major rappers and people that are kind of signed to these 5-6 figure publishing deals, doing all of these really nice appearances and such, and kind of had a different network, a different approach, and kind of just a totally different mindset to this. And I just started to notice a lot of similarities between how you would work with a pro gamer or streamer and way you would with a musician. A lot of the similarities between the organizations like the 100 Thieves and FaZe Clan and some of the Def Jam and Rockefeller and Bad Boy Records, that like it's much more than wearing a jersey like you are the Jets. It's like a culture, a way of life. It's like I'm down with Rockefeller, like it's like much more of a cultural community thing, and that just kind of let me use my knowledge from both. And just from there, I've just been kind of working with players and teams and coaches and on-air talent, and helping them make it all happen.
No, that's fine. I wanted to kind of help my generation, obviously, I'm a Gen Xer, and we have some in the chat that, the older variety, the mature variety, and some of them come like, yo, why should I even care about this esports thing? Like what's the thing? Like, so like, why? You talked kind of about the pillars of it, right? In the casters, the organizations and stuff like that. But like, why should people care about what's going on? In your opinion, like, why is this something that we should really put a fingerprint on and see and track where this thing is going as far as esports?
I mean, I think it's one of these big conversations where, the gaming world is just everything involved in the video game stuff, which is kind of a lot of the conversations that you have. And, esports is much more of, the highly competitive individuals kind of taking this a profession where it's like day in and day out, they're grinding, they're playing the game, they're watching strategies, they're watching, VODs and replays and learning what they did wrong and looking at analytics and kind of like doing these scrimmages to kind of work different plays, whether it's NBA 2K League where they're practicing plays like you would an NBA team where you're doing off-ball screens and all kinds of defensive shifts, or a Call of Duty or League of Legends where you're learning what moves different people use and how to counter them and how you bait different stuff and just kind of what persons go to. If they're in a gunfight, are they known to come at you and shoot, or are they more likely to kind of try to block and retreat? It's just like, these advanced analytics are what, the professional athletes look at, and this whole sabermetrics conversation and, all of these. So they're kind of bringing it over to, competitive gaming. And I think what a lot of people like about it is it's almost activating your like super hyper fan. It's like, yeah, you may like League of Legends, but to see people competing at a game that you love at like a super high level, implementing strategies that, maybe you're familiar with, or like, let's be real, we go to YouTube the same way we used to go to GameStop to buy the How to Beat the Zelda book.
Facts.
Or
Get
like
that primer
get all
strategy
the
guide.
They go to YouTube and it's like, oh, how do I do this dribble move, or what's the best weapon, or what's the best, skin, what, all these, what's the best character. Like, in the Marvel game I was talking about, the YouTubers always put down like a new character breakdown where they show you the strengths of it and, kind of what their moves look like, and, oh, this new character's great, or like, after they nerf a character, what it looks like, after they buff
patch
a character.
Yep.
So it's just like the people that really care about games at that high level want to see people competing at the highest level.
Yeah.
It's like if you're a basketball fan, you want to watch, LeBron and, all these super duper people that like, yeah, maybe you can dunk, maybe you can shoot a three, but none of us could dunk or shoot or do the kind of stuff like these guys can. Like you see Steph Curry like shooting a half court shot like it's me and you shooting a layup, where he's just like nonchalant, like throws from half court, air, like swish, like keeps it moving. So it's just like that level of expertise and, high level performance, people love. And, actually, I'm sure you guys are familiar with him. Todd Harris, he was the co-CEO of High Res Studios. I actually had him on my show, and he talked about a study that they had commissioned with some Emory PhDs that kind of showed a correlation between games that have esports and don't. And kind of the spending patterns.
We'll transition right into that. Okay.
Yeah, the spending patterns of people that follow the esports in a game and that don't. That if you follow a game that has an esport, the people that follow that esport and still play the game end up spending a substantially lot more money because whether it's battle passes, skins, or you just care about that game more, so you want to play it more, and as a result, you want to be good at it. You want to. The same way these kids buy every single Fortnite skin. It's like, what's the difference between the Spider-Man, between the Wolverine, between the, the Finns? Like, there's no, like, it's just the image. But kids want 10 different ones because one day they want to be Spider-Man. One day they want to be, Justin Jefferson doing his move. The next day they want to be Iron Man. And it's just kind of like, so it's just, that's kind of the reason that it like really activates your hypersensitive, and in the music business they call it the true fan. Like there's the 1,000 true fan theory that if you get $100 from your 1,000 true fans, you make 100 G's, that's your 6 figures, and you could succeed as a creator off that kind of income.
Absolutely.
Did y'all guys hear that? Sorry. He said we have 400 people. Let's hear. Let's like and share, and then I want 100 of you.
Yeah, so buy some merch. Maybe you want to
send $100.
Jesus, King.
We got to test his theory. We got theory. I want to put his theory into practice because I think his
Daddy
theory
needs a new
is
Suburban.
grounded in.
You need new Crocs. You need new Crocs.
It could be facts. We could be talking facts here.
What's funny is like people don't realize like they go on there and they play like it's the same thing as Destiny. You go on there, you play regular Crucible, you get matched with all the casual players. That's one thing. People don't realize the dedication it takes to be in like the top of an esports. Like it's crazy. Like I advise you to go look at like those Halo tournaments. Like that stuff's crazy. Like you think
like
CS:GO.
Counter-Strike,
Oh yeah,
these guys are just like you know. I watch some of their streams, and even some of the females I represent, they are unbelievable. Like these girls are unbelievable, and I know that they will beat 99% of the guys that think they're good at these.
Factual.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have to get out of that whole thought pattern that girls can't play video games. First of all, that's far from the absolute truth, because it has to be dedication to the player, whoever the player is, because I've seen handy enabled people actually are some of the top people in some places, and you know, shout out to Microsoft for getting that controller that they're able to access.
The adaptive controller. Yeah, we had the interview. Solomon Romney developed it.
Yes.
Yeah. Excellent.
Perfect stuff. Please take away your prejudice, because you go in there with a preconceived notion, you're gonna get smoked like a cigarette.
Yeah. No.
It's just like
headshot after headshot, like nothing. Like I'm just watching the stream. It's just like headshot after headshot, like one shot kills.
Yeah.
It's like
Beast.
And then like you got to take into consideration, like you know, you see this stuff, and you know it looks intimidating, but it's worse for them because like it's like I said, when you go on play these Crucible matches, you're playing against other people generally more like you. But like imagine playing Trials of Osiris with sweaties all the time, 100% of the time.
Yeah, it's that bracket.
Yeah, like the high level Valorant and League of Legends, like you're queuing, like you're gonna be playing against pros that are just on stream playing it, and like they don't want to lose on stream. Like you said, they are super sweaty. Like they are not trying to lose.
So
and, like
I'm sorry, Justin.
So yeah, like you know, there's players that like sometimes I link them up with like some of the pro athletes, and it's like they're getting 20, 30 kills in a Warzone round, and the athlete's like, "Yo, I don't want to play with them because I'm getting like 2 kills." And it looks so like
bad.
Like when this dude's getting 30 kills, I'm getting 2. It's like
Facts.
You know what's funny, Justin? Like there's this thing in gaming. It's called skill based. Like a lot of games have it. I love when there's debates on whether or not a game casual playlist should have it or not. I'm like, so you don't want to play people with your skill. Like you only want to play people on your skill or below your skill level. Like,
skill-based matchmaking is a hot topic for sure. So you was gonna jump in?
Yeah, I mean, Justin, my sort of ears perked up when you said sabermetrics, because sabermetrics is, you know, generally just known as a baseball way of measuring sort of worth and skill. Are they literally applying those same sort of algorithms and stuff to gaming? Because it's kind of, I mean, again, I think that stuff can be applied generally, but I just didn't realize it was being applied in that way, especially when you look at esports. Obviously, these guys are amazing players, but a lot of it, to me, just looking at it from the outside, it feels like it's just like young guys with super, you know, with the ability to practice all the time and with, you know, super fast reflexes and stuff. Looking at it, it just feels like it's kind of a youth and sort of reflex thing. I never really even thought about, and I, you know, as somebody who's played fighting games and stuff like that, obviously there are techniques and stuff like that. There's strategy, obviously,
muscle memory.
It is muscle memory, right? I didn't realize that sort of those sort of metrics were applied to gameplay here.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of a two-parter to that. You know, a lot of these games have, you know, API where you can get all this advanced metrics. Like, you could see, you know, what your splatter radius is when you do a smoke. Like, you know, what your, you know, how many bullets you use versus how many kills. Like, there's all these advanced things, and that's how a lot of, you know, these academy teams, and there's individuals that really just look at these analytics, and they could tell if you're doing really high in certain categories that you're more likely going to be successful. And that's kind of the correlation to sabermetrics. So and what I think is really unique about this is, you know, some of the NFL players I talk to, it's like the difference between being good and being, you know, great is so small. It's in the littlest mannerisms. It's, I remember Revis always used to say
Shout out
that
to
he always could
Darrell.
guard Randy Moss because he had a tell. Or whenever he was ready to go out for his pass, his body was loose, his hands were like a bit more like, hey, I'm ready to go. But when he had a block for a run, he kind of was already bracing to do the
was
run.
tensed up, yeah.
Exactly. His hands were in front of him. He wasn't like ready to run. And that would always be how he would be able to tell. And it's that littlest thing that you have to literally watch 1,000 snaps looking for that one thing, for that one tell, and then he was able to own those people. Remember that year when it was Revis Island? Every best wide receiver was just like you just couldn't play him in fantasy. If your wide receiver was playing Revis, it was just like
it was a wrap.
You just had to bench him, or you're gonna get one catch for 2 yards.
And I love that stuff because as a sports guy, and even I know you guys are Jets fan, my favorite position is the quarterback position, and I feel like it's a very thankless job, and you're defending the best athlete on the other side. So to hear you break that down with the analytics and looking for the tells and looking for percentages on what's effective, and seeing this now applied on this sabermetric level to gaming is pretty exciting, because it's like, again, we come from the Lords. A lot of us come from, I know Attic is competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! Us, we come from like a very competitive Tekken scene, right? Yeah. High, low, Okazami, what's more effective, frame data, you know what I'm saying? All that kind of stuff, right? And to see this thing continue to evolve now with FPS and all that stuff, excited. What I wanted to ask you, though, just transition real quick, is you mentioned something earlier about how game development, in terms of having publishers wanting to kind of like get into as far as having these esports type service games. Do you think, like, with the rise of esports, right, is that truly influencing? Because I look at, like, Sony just acquired Bungie, right? And they want to do 10 live service games. That's one of the things they're talking about.
But what they did first was they acquired Evo.
Evo, correct.
That was
the
huge.
Biggest
Move.
Yeah, Evo, absolutely correct, Kick.
And because of the reason is because the laws changed in Japan.
Yes.
Forever, you couldn't play esports. It was considered gambling. Yes. It was like, so that's why I feel like Sony's finally starting to make their play into esports, is because all the local laws have kind of cleared up.
Right. So you got that. And then, me and you had discussion, obviously, shout out to, the Call of Duty League, and I'm seeing a high level play of these kids. I'm like, what is going on? This is insane what these kids are doing. And I look at Microsoft with their recent potential closing of the Activision Blizzard King acquisition, right? Which would then in turn make, from a marketing perspective, give Microsoft and Xbox kind of control of that once the dust settles with the legality there. So do you see, like, these acquisitions being thought about from publishers with esports in mind, so that maybe they could catch a wave? And, we know there's licenses involved, that they get a little money, you know what I'm saying, with their games. Like, what do you think about this whole thing as far as the acquisition influence?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you see power players like Sony buying Evo, be like, okay, that's a fighting game. It's not just like Call of Duty. It's all fighting games. It has the ability to start, using whatever's popular, starting to cycle in their own stuff. I know the Sony PlayStation 5 became the official console for the 2K League, which, so that was like another opportunity for them to be like, okay, well, all these pros are playing 2K on our system. And, like, they didn't need to do that, but, I think that it was just a way for them to kind of put their footprint in a lot of places. And ultimately, I think a lot of this stuff, even like I'm reading this book on the metaverse, it all kind of ties into user acquisition and just getting people into your ecosystems and, giving them more reasons to be in your digital Game Pass, Xbox Live world. Like, the longer that your game console is turned on, the more you're engaging with it, the more opportunity they can make money off of you. So the more games they have, the more events, the more hype around it just kind of like feeds the machine, like esports. I feel like the game developers always look at it as like a marketing tool, where it's like, hey, everyone, come check out this Call of Duty League and look at how great these kids are, but you should go buy your new Call of Duty game that comes out in 6 months, and like use it as a way to do that. But now they're seeing it as more of almost like a way to kind of engage with the youth, to create like another vertical within their business that like, where you kind of making on with, Microsoft. It's like, Activision Blizzard started these franchise leagues that had, these $20-30 million buy-ins, and, to kind of just take that and continue with it is just like, you have this whole built-in money-making vessel. Really.
No, absolutely. Fantastic points. And definitely wanted to continue on as far as, like, You talk about the business side, we see that, but then I want to kind of talk about the professional esports athlete, right? These kids now, they're coming out, you know, and now even I think you even had a post that I saw that was very interesting, like the NCAA providing like a clear path for these kids as far as, you know, likenesses and image. You know, in the past that wasn't a thing, and as you know, this is going on, you're hearing stories about now even like 26-year-old kid talking about turning high school gamers into professional esports star. So you see it almost on this grassroots high school and college level. And my question is like, how can these kids kind of like protect themselves? Because let's be honest, like it's like, don't you kind of like need an agent now? Like now that we're getting into the esports athlete aspect, like can you touch on that? Can you elaborate on that growth and what you're seeing trends wise?
Well, yeah, you know, as a result of, you know, the industry growing so big, you know, you have multi-million-dollar prize pools, you have, you know, players making, you know, 5-6 figures a year salary, if not more. If you know, look at the Forbes list, you have, you know, probably 10-15 people making 10 to 15 to $20 million a year that, you know, people like Ninja and Shroud and, you know, PewDiePie and Dr. Disrespect, some of these people that I wouldn't necessarily say they're professional gamers in the same way you would be, you know, a League of Legends player for Team Liquid, but their profession is video games and gaming, and it fits into the world of, you know, what I'm doing. So as a result of making these, you know, large sums of money and, you know, signing agreements with, you know, big Fortune 500 companies, you know, from the Red Bulls to Mercedes to Audi to McDonald's to Mountain Dew to, you know, every brand that you guys can imagine that, you know, sponsors a sports team would probably be interested in, you know, esports. There's a lot of similarities in kind of the marketing techniques. So the fact that everything is just kind of growing to this point, similar to every other talent world, whether it's, you know, music, sports, you know, modeling, TV, movies, there's this whole series of professionals that service these talents, you know, attorneys like myself, there's agents and managers and business managers and CPAs and people that really just focus on these creative entertainment worlds because there are certain needs, certain, you know, vernacular, just certain experience that you need to understand to be in these worlds. You know, if you're negotiating an esports player contract, you need to know what other comparable players are getting. It's not like the NFL or the NBA where all this stuff is public. Every player is signing the same collectively bargaining agreement that the, you know, the NFL PA or the NBA PA negotiates. The only thing that changes is the name and how much money you're getting. But with these agreements and what's, you know, unique and kind of, you know, what brought my book about was that it's kind of, you know, there is no standards. Every team, every league, every game has their own agreement. You know, if people are using the same lawyer, which kind of happened at the beginning, as I was kind of alluding to, a lot of the agreements started to be the same with different variations. And, you know, the book that I wrote kind of goes into some of that and is meant to kind of give a look into what's going on in this space, going through the anatomy of a player contract and coach and caster and try to kind of highlight what's going on here because this stuff is so impactful and because you're talking about real money. And if you're making up 50 or $100, you know, like, okay. But if you're making, you know, I was looking at Call of Duty contracts, the kids were making $250,000 to $300,000 a year, 2-year deals. And that's just salary. That's not including room and board and, you know, all the merch and everything. That's just literally into your account.
My question to you, do you think that there should be a league standard? Now, and I'm not talking about the league that actually encompasses and puts together the product that they're playing. I'm talking about a league as far as like let's use the NFL or the NBA, right? And they have a standard. They have your rookie standards. You have your base minimum, and you know you have protections in place for these individuals that's going into the league, right? Is something like that in place when it comes to these leagues? Because from what I'm hearing, it sounds like the Wild Wild West, right? It sounds like if Tommy is really the hot commodity and he's viewed as like Jordan, he doesn't have a base going in. He goes in with his metrics and his numbers, and he's accordingly compensated at that point. Or do you believe that a base would be bad? Because we don't know if Tommy is only good for 2 years, right? And then puberty kicks in, and his reflexes go into a different direction, and he no longer attacks a scenario in the same manner. Because my son and I only say this because when we're playing Fortnite, let's say Fortnite, I use my PUBG experience when I'm playing it. I'm more cautious. I'm more look at it and strategize. My son is gung-ho. He has absolutely no fear in the depth of the video game, because where I come from, we care about that one-up, right? We care about that life bar. We care about that. He doesn't care. He can let that O go. He doesn't care. Pick up my car, Daddy, and bring me back to life so I can kill some more people. So do you think that a contract over a long period of time for any individual will be detrimental to Tommy's zeitgeist moment, or do you think individual contracts should be based on performance?
Well, yeah, so, what's nice is some of the leagues, like, the Overwatch League and the Call of Duty League, have implemented minimum salaries where a player will get a minimum of $50K a year plus, 401K, health insurance, like some of these kind of standard benefits. But again, it's a minimum, so you have players making substantially more than that. And, that way, you could be a team that just signs all minimum players. Again, it's like, you can't like undercut the market and be like, okay, you're on a professional team, but I give you $500 because you're on the team. Like, it gives you that bottom, but there is no top and there's no salary cap. So it's not like, and the thing about these agreements and why, the biggest point of where someone like me comes in is that there's just so much flexibility because there are no standards where like, they could probably drop you whenever they want. They can bench you and cut half your money. So like, there's a lot of stuff that these teams can do. And because it's so fragmented, like there can't be just like an esports league union or players association, because every game is different. Games come and go. What's popular now might not be popular in a month or a year or 6 years. Like I always use the example when I teach of H1Z1, where that was like this huge game. There's gonna be this huge pro league. All these teams spent $1 million buy-in, signed players, signed coaches, and then PUBG, Fortnite, and came through, and they lost 90% of their user base overnight. And that was the end of the league, and all the teams dropped the players. And if you were a pro H1Z1 player, the next night you were not. You were not a pro anymore.
And that was a Sony product, right?
King.
But the point is that's like a prime example of how you literally were going to be a compensated player making, a couple $1,000s a month to now your game has no value because Fortnite and PUBG and, Apex and all these other, battle royales come out and everyone wants to play those. And that's that.
No,
like...
No, that's real. That's real. And I love what you said, in reference to, how it's, the protections that have to be in place when they have to deal with it. That's why your service is valued. That's why we're going to talk about your book, because you're dropping a lot of game here. And I'm just thinking about like, if I'm that guy and, I'm one of the best on the team, and then, either...
you don't want to get paid like me?
Right. But you know what I'm saying? But let's just say that they get the new hot kid, right? His KD better than mine. In 2 years, they like, all right, Kai, we're going to put you to the bench. Like, my salary could change. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm just thinking about, okay, you know what? It's not working. I'm not the star no more. And I want to move on. I want to go to club such and such. You know what I mean? That's interesting. Like, am I locked in? Like
yeah, they could trade you. There's buyout clauses. There's no trade clauses. Like, it's like a lot of this stuff has become like sports, where like, you can have a no trade clause where, there's certain areas that you won't go to. Like, if you're a North American player, maybe you don't want to get traded to the Korea Overwatch team and have to move to Seoul, Korea. Hey, you might, this is a global league where they have teams in China and Korea and, Europe and America. So it's like, if you're traded from, the LA team to the Paris team and Paris team is in Paris, you're going to Paris.
So quick question though, not to cut you, but like, what if like, have you seen scenarios where like kids are like, they part of the Overwatch League, right? They sign with one team, but let's just say they really nice at Call of Duty or some other game. Can you be in a scenario where you are a part of multiple teams for different games?
I mean, you can. I mean, some of the girls I represented competed in CS:GO and Valorant, but like they picked just Valorant because they started to see that it was just too hard to be that proficient in the practice and scrim on both games at that level. That it becomes like you can't just be good enough that you want to be. Because a lot of these tournaments, as we know, it's very first prize, second prize. Like if you're not at the top, you're maybe gonna get 500. You know, you're gonna get very minimal stuff. If you're in 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 10th play, like you know, like the Dota 2 prize pool, the international, everyone always totes. It's like the $40 million prize pool. It's like the winning team gets 15 to 20 mil, and like you know, divided by 5 people, you're each making $3.5 million. Like you literally wake up overnight and become a multimillionaire, and it's just kind of like the teams that are finishing in 10th, maybe they're getting 150 G's, but it ain't no 20 million, you know? Like, so it's just kind of like,
it's like next year I'm getting $1 million. Next year I'm getting $1 million.
Yeah, this is it's so fascinating. So I'm sorry, continue.
No, so I was saying that it's just like there's so much fluctuation, and it's, you know, I always kind of say, and why the sabermetrics things kind of comes in is in, you know, let's just say football or basketball. If you have the biggest, strongest, fastest dudes, more times than not, you're going to win. Obviously, there's strategy and, you know, composure and whatever. Yeah. But if you have, you know, the fastest, strongest LeBron, like, you're probably going to win in sports. But in esports, the game is the great equalizer. Yeah. Like I can't move faster in the game than you can. I can only move as fast as the game allows me to do. Like, you know, even if I train super, super hard, I'm not going to be able to run faster in the game than you.
Right. No.
Whereas if I train super, super hard, I may be able to run faster in real life or dunk or shoot. And so it's like, you know, that's where these, you know, tradable skills and just the studying and the metrics and the strategy and how you play stuff. And, you know, to bring it all back to the beginning of, you know, the NFL comparison and like from going from college, it's like, it's the little details. It's the execution. It's how you handle the stress and the pressure. It's like, you know, the baseball thing, are you going to shake off the last home run as a pitcher, or are you going to now give up another one and then another one and you're going to spiral down? It's like, you got in a gunfight and you lost. Are you going to be shooken for the rest of the match? Or are you, I mean, it's a big thing. It's like, you know, what the game glitched. Like, I can't believe I shot him. I shot him first. I know I shot him first.
It really
but the game didn't think you did and you died. And are you going to be thinking about that for the rest of the game? Or are you going to be, okay, we got to regroup. We have to get back to strategy. Like, you know, next pitch kind of thing.
Yeah. So it's like one of those things where it's like, it was so close. Are you going to let that dominate your mind for the rest of the tournament? Exactly. And let's say like, because when I used to do competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, it was like, you know, you would lose that first round, and now you got to win the next 2 back to back. So it's just like, you know, are you going to let the fact that, you know,
are you going to second guess yourself? Exactly. Like, I can't believe I played that card. You're thinking about that. Like, I was thinking about like poker. Like, I'm always thinking about the bad beat where it's like, you should not have been in on that. Like, that should have paid me. Like, what are you doing? And it's like,
do you do
that's the nature of the game.
Your clients before you hire them, just to find out if they, you know, if they exhibit that type of behavior that you don't want inside your clients, like, you know, he's always in his head after he gets shot in the face twice. You know?
I mean, I think
not nice after he get knifed.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely look for people that I guess are a bit, you know, safer. Like, I don't like a dude who's raging and breaking
someone that's
chairs.
going to stay around for a little bit.
You don't want the guy that's throwing controllers at the screen. You don't want that.
That's not my look.
He don't want the Kyrie Irving.
He doesn't want to have to explain to press why his client threw something at a window. Like, we have said that we're going to replace the window, okay? So we're okay on that end.
He knows he shouldn't have done it. He's very sorry.
Listen, this is so fascinating. And to see, I'm sorry, I got it.
I'm just going to ask you, like, you know, let's say that someone's wanting to come on like the roots of esports, like obviously not in esports, but they're wanting to eventually have the end game to playing for esports team. Do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, I mean, I think that what's nice about it and also what's hard about it is that there's no like path to pro like there is in sports. Where it's like you play AAU ball, then you play at a high school, then you get recruited to college, and if you do well and you go to the combine, like you could get drafted. Whereas the thing about esports is that there's like a lot of paths, and I think that that's what's cool is that like you could be, you know, a random team that makes a tournament and you win the tournament or do really well in it, and now in esports we're always like, oh wow, like this is a new kid, there's a great team, like we're gonna sign him, you know. And then there's this more kind of, you know, academy based on analytics that like, you know, a lot of these teams look at the leaderboard, they see who's trending up, who's near the top, who's the new names that are doing stuff? How consistently are they
I
doing
gotta start
it?
averaging. Okay, continue. Okay.
You know, like that.
It sounds
You
highly
can't
cutthroat.
lose. You can't lose 2-3 rounds in a row of Tekken. You gotta win
Listen,
all
man.
the rounds.
Gotta have
Yeah,
my
you
name
gotta
at
be
the top.
platinum, double, black diamond, whatever in Valorant, whatever.
I
you
need
like,
Tasty
you gotta be
Steve and them
that,
to call my name. Continue.
right? Immortal that like level League of Legends. So like pretty much once you start getting to these super high levels of these skill based matchmaking, or like when you're back in the day of the gamer, game battles leaderboards, like you'll start to see similar names at the top, and then you start to see new names out of nowhere, and it's like, that's the next. That's who
What's
we're
the
gonna look at.
average professional life cycle of the average player?
That's
Because the
the
NFL
tough
is
thing.
3 to 5 years, and anything outside
3 to 5
that is
minutes.
an anomaly.
3 to 5 minutes.
That's
One
that's
match.
the one downside
He
that
out
I've
the league.
noticed. We're like,
That's why baseball's the GOAT. Thank you.
Oh my God. Continue.
3 to 5.
Because
No,
you
like-
have people that's 45 years old still out there pitching with their dead arm.
That's right. And making $25 million a year to do it.
Guaranteed.
Jericho
I
League.
think a lot of it has to do with is just keeping up with that competition. Like obviously I don't watch sports, but clearly they got training camps, they got all this. Like if you just go in there because you had skill at one point, then you're like, okay, now I'm gonna eat pizza and watch TV for 8 months and not play anything, not keep my reflexes up. Because I think we some of us have play games like Destiny. You stop playing that Trials, that first couple matches is gonna be rough, and like imagine that
even 2K.
times 100.
Like you gotta it takes me like maybe a quarter to get back into pick and roll on point, the flow of the game, the double, make sure I don't over pursue on reach on us, like
Right.
especially if you haven't played for a week or a
Oh
couple
yeah.
days.
Oh yeah. Muscle memory, getting in the flow. I wanted to transition because we talked about it a couple times about your book, and I thought it's very important. I think that for me taking a look at it, it's just you're giving game out. As far as how this model is going, and the thing I didn't realize is I always think about esports just from the athlete. This is the top kid in this, the streamer, whatever. But there's more pillars to it, right? And one thing that people don't realize, like, I know one thing, Alec King and Solve might remember this, like, I don't know if I could do it now, but one thing I used to love doing is when we do the competitive stuff, just commentating. Oh, he pull out the high-low combo into this, like that shoutcasting stuff.
Exactly.
And it reminds me of like, when you're watching the ESPN, the commentator, and they have a knowledge of the game, but they also have the entertainment aspect when there's a moment. You know what I'm saying? Bottom of the ninth, 3-2, okay. those kind of things.
And the Yankees win.
See, there you go.
The Yankees win.
Oh, then I got to hear Frank Sinatra. Moving on. But you got the right idea. You got the right idea. But yeah, so like explain about your book, and then like about the pillars that other people, because there's more to this stuff. Teams, organizations, there's so much to getting into the esports thing besides just being I'm a good professional player.
And I did put his book in the chat.
Yeah, we definitely got him. We're gonna put the link in there.
Awesome. Well, yeah, definitely. So pretty much I kind of made a book that looked at, the business and kind of different legal aspects that related to the esports and video game world. So it kind of starts laying the foundation for what I call like the 4 major parties of this business ecosystem. So we have the gaming talent, which is the pro gamers and the streamers, the people on Twitch and YouTube and TikTok that are kind of creating gaming content. You have the coaches and the analysts who are actually coaching these players, and then you have, the on-air talent, the casters and the event hosts that you're kind of talking about that provide this color commentary and the play-by-play. And then we have the teams and organizations, and they actually field the players. So the FaZe Clan, the Optic Gaming, 100 Thieves, Team Liquid,
Nice.
Cloud9, these organizations that have been raising millions of dollars from, prominent esports, sports owners. And then you have the game developers and publishers, which I know you guys are very much familiar with, the Activision Blizzards, the Riot Games, the Valve, Ubisoft, and, Epic Games. So all of these people that kind of own the IP to the game, and as a result they own the game. They kind of determine how it's used, all the different commercial avenues. And then you have the event operators that actually run these different tournaments and leagues, the kind of the stuff that you hear about on Twitch and the Evolution, the Evo series, and all these different things. And then it starts to look at different legal issues that relates to the world. So it's, copyright and trademark and intellectual property and visas and immigration, because this is a very international world where you have players from all over the world coming to the U.S. to, join teams, to compete in tournaments here, and they need to get visas. And, business and LLC stuff, and how, as a streamer or a player, you can, protect yourself with loan out companies and different tax write-offs that might be valuable and that are really just unique to this area. And then what I would say is the most, unique part is the contracts chapter, where I kind of go through a sample major player agreement and coach and caster and sponsorship agreement, and kind of explain the different clauses and what they mean, and try to give you some negotiation tips of stuff that might be important to look at, things that that's kind of what you're saying, like a little bit of insight into my head of kind of maybe how I would approach, this kind of agreement, and what both sides, because there's always two sides to every situation, every negotiation. There's certain things that are more important to other people that maybe are less important than you. And it's always important to identify those, because maybe something that's really important to them doesn't matter that much to you.
Good point.
So you can give a point knowing that something else is more important. And it's really important to kind of be able to do that. And then I kind of bring it all together, looking at, the growth of esports associations and federations, which are, international and, government bodies that are kind of fostering esports and governing it, and trying to kind of create almost like the Olympics for esports. They have something called the International Esports Federation, which, I think they have 110 member countries, and, a lot of different countries across the world all have their esports national organizations as part of it. And it's meant to kind of be this IOC for, esports.
I think it's absolutely amazing that this is able to happen, because a lot of times when you come from the inner city, or any walk of life, you have the athletic and you have the unathletic, right? And usually the unathletic kids weren't able to make a buck in what they chose to do. So like if your kid he's a savant in video games, there's actually an avenue for him to make a career, a short career in this genre, opposed to just get a basketball, get a football. He's not athletic enough, he's not tall enough, type of thing.
He's not dedicated enough. I think that's
exactly,
the biggest, that's the hard
part. There's a lot of hard work in this. My question to you, do you see esports at some point in time being on equal footing with athletic sports as far as revenue generated and as reach and global awareness?
Oh yeah, I think that esports, and I think most people that are in it agree, like, it's gonna blow away, because as you say, what's called the indoor kids, there's a lot more people that fit into that bubble that fit into the 6'5" I can dunk or run a sub 440. And I think that I kind of hear this buzz like the esports bubble burst and It's like, I don't even think, especially in North America and the US, I don't think it's even started. I think that it's going to really grow with the kids that are now, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, the kids that have literally grown up with digital everything. Like us, like, you guys may be a little older, but it's like we had, I went from, what was it, from a VHS, you had the audio cassette Discman to the Walkman. You had books. Like, these kids have grown up with digital music, digital books, digital video games. Their whole entire universe is digital. Like, I had stacks of DVDs and a CD binder, like
facts.
bookcase. Like, we grew up in a different universe, but these kids, in 5 years from now, when they're finally at the 18, 20, the buzzword that they always throw with esports, they're gonna, like, it's not even gonna be a thing of like, oh, like, you're playing video games and you don't tell people. It's just gonna be the same way you go home and shoot basketball at the park, the same way you're going to go home and play 2K. And, I think the same way there's Little League, there'll be Little League of Legends. And, everyone will, in the morning you'll play soccer, and in the afternoon you'll play FIFA League. And it'll just be the evolution of the rest of us. There'll always be this super high competitive scene. There'll always be people that want to go pro in it. But again, most of us aren't going to be that level at the game. that we're going to be able to, but we still want to play 2K. Like, I play 2K with some of these pro kids. They are phenomenal. I think I'm pretty good at 2K, but once I play with them, it's like, wow. Like, there's another level to being good at this game.
Start playing with someone like way better than you. Like, am I trash? Like,
No, this is real.
Well, it's just like they do
That's
the
when
little
you
things.
realize what the block button is for.
No, this is
block
real,
your
man.
little behind.
This is real. I'm glad you brought that up because I know as gamers, sometimes we look at it in our own little box and we don't understand how things are trending, how this next generation of gamers, how this thing's influencing it. And like I said, with your book, which is tremendous, we'll put the link in the chat. Please check it again because it's really informative and he really is giving out a lot of game as well as professor. You're doing podcasts. You're all over educating, man. You're doing your thing. And it's really cool, to learn about this stuff. But before we move
We
on.
need to break protocol real quick.
All right, yeah, there's something. I know what you said.
Let me play with your joystick.
He out of pocket right now. What's up?
First of all, his avatar is Buck Bananas.
Saul is muted. Saul, you're muted.
Is really crazy.
Oh, your joint is dead?
He said, "I'm."
Oh, he can't read the super chat now. Yeah, he don't want to read the super chat.
I'm
That's
also
what it
a
is.
fan
Okay.
of erotic sports. Saab, when are we getting together to team up? And he put a joystick with a smiley heart eye guy.
We have Saul's greatest fan. He definitely was.
God, that is absolutely
out of pocket.
donkeless.
But anyway.
Oh, my mic's miraculously working now.
We know all of a sudden you couldn't read the super chats all of a sudden. We know. But look, we want to respect Justin's time. But before he goes, we got to ask the question that we ask all the members, the guests in the realm. The chat is laughing. I need Lord Justin's top 5 video games or franchises of all time.
This was a tough one.
Let's go.
I definitely, I've mentioned a few times, StarCraft and StarCraft 2 is probably, and then, Madden and 2K, always been a sports guy.
Okay.
And, Zelda Ocarina of Time would still be one of those.
Salute.
I guess, Mario Kart is just one of those games. I guess like Super Smash. Like I just feel like, I've never been good at first person shooters. Even going back to GoldenEye, I was trash. Like Halo, trash. Like, just using my bullets, can't aim. Like even in Fortnite, I'm the dude that drops and then gets killed with my pickaxe. It's just like those are just not my games ever. So I really always shifted from them, and then these larger games, I just never had time. I feel like sports games is always something I play with friends, always just something I'm doing, doing the franchises and, like getting all the rookies and young people that I thought were going to be sick and just kind of like, building all, like thinking about how you got to build offensive linemen and D-backs first in Madden because like you need to have a running game and you need to protect the quarterback. It's not just about having 4 good wide receivers. It's because like you could have one sick one, but the guys that are fast and quick could run routes good and you can make them better. And it's just like, that was always
fire. I used to do that, bro. Oh my god! Looking at them stats, pass block stat, the run block, release, and the route running, and all that. Yeah, continue.
And then like, I would say like when you're talking about games like NHL '94, but then like I would say Madden 01 with that like that LA Rams, Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Hall. Like that was probably like my favorite gaming time. So like. Get into that shotgun, and it's just like
it's over.
Just Azazir Hakim, Ricky Prohl.
Yeah,
it's just like, you just can't exactly. You just could not beat that team.
Yeah, those are some errors, man. I remember the Michael Vick era when he came. He broke the game. To get
a little corny. That's when it started to get a little like corny, where you had 04 Michael Vick.
99.
Yeah, where literally he got out of the pocket, and there was just like, either I'm gonna sell out and maybe get him, or he's just gonna throw it over my head.
Yeah, factual. Salute to you, man. Tremendous choices. And the last question we always ask: favorite console of all time and why?
I guess that the most memories I have is probably N64. It's probably that, like, playing, NFL Blitz, NFL Hit, NHL Hits, like NFL Street, NBA Street, like
no mercy, no wrestling.
Yeah, exactly.
Greatest
No Mercy. I was gonna say like my guy, the Regulator. Like how can I forget that? That might even be top 5. Like
Yes.
No Mercy.
Facts.
That was a game that we played for hours. I remember my creative player guy was the regulator.
The regulator.
Yeah, the cheap
that
custom
was
move
the
sets with
regulator.
the jab.
Exactly, the Warren G regulator.
We had some funny names.
Oh, yeah.
Some of our creative guys.
The subjugator.
Those are the days, man. Tremendous gaming.
And then
history.
obviously, Mario Tennis,
Oh.
Smash Brothers, Mario Kart. You can never go wrong with Mario Kart ever, where it's just like, Wayne Gretzky 3D hockey.
Yeah.
That was a great one.
Classic.
And 64 had a lot of
1080 snowboarding.
Ooh, yes.
Right, that was so like
1080
those.
Avalanche.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about launch title. That launch title, they launch titles is crazy.
Yeah. Well, did they have Wave Race? What they have Wave Race at launch?
Yeah, no, Wave Race came a year later.
Yeah, Wave Race definitely. Wave Race was a good one.
That was a
too.
good one. Because it was the debut of the analog. That analog changed
Yeah,
the
Wave
game.
Race was on there.
Yeah, salute.
And then obviously Super Mario 64. Everyone can just,
Of course. Legendary stuff, man.
So I feel like that's probably the, console.
No doubt for Lord Justin, man. Salute to you, brother. Absolute pleasure to have you in the realm, hearing your story, learning about esports. Again, before you go, where can people find you? Want to learn more? Plug your stuff, man. Talk to the people where they can find you.
Well, thank you guys so much for having me. This was amazing, and everyone for tuning in. And you definitely follow me on Twitter, Justin J ESQ. It's definitely my, DMs are open. So if you have any questions, definitely feel free to reach out. I'm always, happy to talk to people, and definitely get in touch with me there.
No doubt. Put the Twitter up in there. And again, a tremendous book, The Essential Guide to the Business and Law of Esports and Professional Video Game. Highly recommended. You can learn a lot about what's going on. And just on the contractual level, the legal side, there's a lot to it, man. Please support the guy. Again, an absolute legend. Thank you for your time. I know we had you a little longer than we had promised, but I appreciate you taking the time and sitting with us on the audience. And we're going to keep building and talking again, man. Much love, Lord Justin Jacobson. You already know.
Thank you guys. It was a pleasure, and I look forward to our next conversation.
Oh, you already know. You will be back.
All right,
No doubt, Lord Justin. Absolute pleasure, man. Thank you so much. So we got some super chats we got to catch up.
Yeah, we got a couple. Okay,
cool.
Hold on 1 second. Okay, so we got okay. Ace 23 BCAN Y $20 super chat. Last quarter like for like data revenue. PlayStation's -2%, Xbox -7%, 3.5 times higher drop for Xbox hardware sales. PlayStation is +4.4%, Xbox is -11%, 15.4% swing in PlayStation's favor, Xbox not disclosing software sales, profit, updated Game Pass or Xbox Live Gold numbers.
I don't care about your fake facts.
Oh my God!
What we will address is this disrespectful super chat that you send over here. So we will address it when the financials actually we actually talk about financials. I live in North America, so you about to fall back.
How did he made all this up, King?
Yeah, well, I don't care about his fake factuals. I'm gonna give you the real
Fake
factuals.
Oh
All right,
my
so,
God!
Yo, shout out to Sony for trying to put out this propaganda like they still relevant. Let's go.
Here we go.
There we got Hector the Macho Man, $5 super chat. I don't know if this is
that our Hector?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it is. If it is, what's up, brother?
Is it the real Macho Man?
To be honest, I love esports because it gives kids a chance to be a pro gamer and gives them a chance to get paid for their hard work and passion for games. That is true.
That is true.
They better have one hell of a lawyer, and you better double check and watch the back end, because I think it just reminds me of the child stars of the 80s.
Of the 80s,
Yeah,
it
you
reminds
better
me
have
of like the boy bands and stuff
you
like
better have
that.
your paperwork. You better holler at Justin.
Yeah, you better holler at Justin.
You better holler at Justin.
Yeah,
You out here
because
signing them 360
I just
deals.
see a bunch of broke kids sitting on the side of the road in the Korean shop like, I can't believe he took all my money.
No.
And you're over the hill at like 21.
Facts.
man.
You over the hill at 17.
Gotta break. King, you gotta look at the chat. Once we get to free R. Kelly, you got it.
Oh, he back? Oh, I didn't
Free R.
see-
Kelly, he's out.
Well, he's outside.
Free R. Kelly came for this smoke. I'm gonna light you like a cigarette today. Yo, I'm gonna tell you right now, you picked the wrong day to show your face.
You know what's funny, King? Free R. Kelly come up here and he's like, you know what, King?
You triggered my trap card.
What he should have did was go play that yard instead of worrying about that trap card.
Jeez, leave on Kelly. We're gonna see what he got to say.
Go play the yo
All
bump.
right, we have Amazing Neil, $2 super chat. Great show, my brothers. Thank you, sir. And we have Amazing Neil once again, $2 super chat. Solve blue tea for anonymous should be a large, please. So Amazing Neil, I don't have any control over that unless I place the order for you.
Yeah.
Since you went in, if you got the wrong size, you have to go in and cancel the order and then reorder.
Yeah.
I can't access that stuff.
Yeah, shout out to him. He put it out. And make sure y'all leave a comment. We're seeing it, but on checkout, leave a comment so we can see it when it comes up on live.
I don't know if you guys been noticing in the chat. I've been putting these funny. I put the book bag up and said, "Need something to carry all your Game Informers in." Try her back.
Yeah, I see it's dope.
And take a picture with the merch so we can.
Put up on social media. Take a picture of the drip. Yeah, you already know.
And we got Flame, $2 super chat. Good afternoon, fellas. Hope y'all have a great show. Thank you, my brother.
What up, Flame?
Salute.
We have Lucius Augustus, member for 12 months. Thank you, sir. Shout out to the ILP and rest in peace to Bill Russell, an NBA legend. Yeah, he just got announced that he passed away this morning, age of 88.
Yeah, rest in peace to the legend, man.
It's a long, great life, but man,
some of the most championships.
I'm starting to see my mortality when I'm seeing people that just everybody checking out the door.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Bill Russell, legend.
Then we got JD Gamer, $20 super chat. Shout out to the Lords on the Lord's Day. Side note, question for the panel. I assume you've all seen the trailer for Wakanda Forever. The question is, did you like it, and how are you feeling if it's better than the first movie? We talked about this last week. I don't know. You can go back and listen to our thoughts, but
I really love the first one. So
first
movie is great. This is going to be a challenge for them. So we'll see.
We'll see.
I'm gonna take Addict's part on it. You can trick us one time, you're not gonna trick us twice. So Addict is very famous in saying this. You know, with God of War, you switch stuff up and you got everybody galvanized in this one spot. I don't think you can go back to the world twice. I don't think you're gonna have the same reaction. It's just gonna be a good movie.
Yeah, that makes sense too. It's hard to one up something like that.
Okay.
Let me see. We got something else. I know it's like, okay. We got so free R. Kelly.
He's back. Right after sentencing.
Dang, it's over. Sony won. He just came out. He
just came outside. He on the yard. He got phone time.
And you can see him across the yard. Kang! Okay, he just got out of solitary. Kang! He's gonna go right back to the
whole
box.
Season of Prison Break. He right back in for season 2.
Right back to the box.
Said it's over. He said it's over for Xbox.
Yeah. Don't lift no weights in the yard. Be careful.
Saul, your camera keeps focusing on your mic. You might want to put your mic down just a little bit.
Yeah,
it's bring it down.
Yeah, just bring it down just a hair so it doesn't like it's
let it poke out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Don't let play with my joystick see that.
It would be King wanting something to poke out.
Don't give him no idea. All proximity.
Play with my joystick see that.
Look, when King was telling me how to do these, I had to take one of King's.
Oh man.
You know what's funny? What if playing my joystick is actually a woman?
Yeah, that would be worse.
Bruh.
She outside.
She outside with it.
No inhibitions. No inhibitions.
She know what she
That's
like.
fine. That's fine. Go that way.
Oh, so you accept it if it's a dude?
I know. I'm just saying.
You don't be even crazier, Saul. If that's really your wife on
Yo, what if she got a She trying to check her.
That's a dummy account.
She got a burner account. Salute the lady Saul.
Just to see what I'm gonna do.
Just to see what you're gonna do. Like, you really podcasting? That's all you doing?
Yeah, my damn.
Yeah.
Moving along. Gave me $5 in chat. Nothing like sitting at my desk, feet up, and listening to the Lord on the Lord. We're just the Lord on my day off, and as always. Hey, King Boo Boo.
Hey, Forte.
That's what's up. That's the Croc Energies, urinals.
There you go. Man, we're laughing. There we go. He said, yo, Drip Down said, play with my joystick is upset at Addict for pointing out songs. Yo! Anyway, continue.
Then we got Mandingo McThickens.
Woo!
$5 super chat. Enough of the foolery. Let's get to the third topic, gentlemen. We now know why Jim Ryan is following the Xbox model, because Sony guys don't buy games.
Y'all about to
Oh,
get
man.
work.
Here we go.
Then we got Hollywood Rules, $2 super chat. Condolences, Lord Saab. Respect, bro. Thank you, brother. I
salute.
appreciate that, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Then we have Hector the Macho Man, $2 super chat. Kids don't sign to death row. Hashtag no 360 deals. Yeah, there you go. Do not do that. All right. Then we have, let me see. I know we jumped a little bit. Let me go back.
Yeah.
And we got Hollywood Rules again, $5 super chat. Another fantastic ILP Sunday with my 4 boys.
Salute.
Great job last night, King. Let me. He's laughing at you. He said, "Let it poke out." Wow. Also, them game sale numbers. Jim's still saying y'all not enough.
Oh yeah.
Y'all talking first
So
party
I tell
talk.
dudes these fake metrics that they want
So-
to throw up.
I had a quick question for the chat. Me and King are going to do a lot more community nights. Obviously, Solve and Cog, if they're able to make it, they'll be there. But I want input from the community. What community games you think would be fun for all of us to play? Obviously, there's games that only us 4 are going to play, but me and King want to incorporate more of the community in general. But we need more games, such as like Fall Guys. I know you can have lobbies in that. GTA 5's one. I don't know if I really
PUBG, I'm
trust
on
some of
PUBG,
you
I'm on
guys in
PUBG.
GTA 5.
Yeah,
I want to play PUBG. I want to play Apex. I want to
I don't
shoot
wanna
some of
play
these dudes.
PUBG.
Like I want to see R. Kelly running across the yard, and I just,
King shoot
I
R. Kelly.
just want to slide up
Hilarious.
behind Christopher Hart. Real
Wow.
quick, pause, and just like.
I don't know. R. Kelly, do they let PlayStations in general? Like,
Well, they don't allow crossplay, so go buy Xbox.
All right. Let me read this last one real quick because the microwave's coming on. Do y'all think that Sony's latest security breach might hinder their online services subscriber numbers?
Well, there you
Thoughts? This is from Stitch, 33 months. Thank you.
Do we think what? I didn't even catch. Oh, do we think that they would hinder? Oh, do you think that Sony's latest security breach might hinder their online service? I didn't even realize about that security
yeah,
breach.
they had a security breach. It wasn't me.
Wait a
I'm just
second. What do you
saying that.
think was gonna happen when they just put up a service and don't change the service? Like what do you think? They still have Calvin watching the door, letting the same people in with the same old shenanigans. Calvin like, oh yeah, don't pat him down. He cool. I know him. That's the same dude that robbed the place 4 times.
Yo.
Man. 4 times. You dudes really think you're secure, so y'all thought that y'all was gonna get a service and you was gonna be safe. No, you just put a banner up to let more criminals in. Calvin don't care. He letting the whole Kingsbridge in. Queensbridge is outside.
Run around. Yo, so Attic, when did the I didn't even hear about the breach. How long ago did it happen? I didn't even know about it.
It was just the thing that just recently happened.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
recently.
Oh, I
It was a
didn't know
dude that went in there, and
Oh,
instead of
here we
stealing
go.
Here we
stuff,
go.
instead of stealing stuff, he went in there and inflated their numbers.
Anyway,
he said, I ain't gonna send no more pics. What I'm gonna do is I gotta get in there and physically work the numbers myself.
this guy right here, who definitely with his first hand accounts of how it goes down.
Imagine King trying to like social engineer. Like he'll walk up, he'll be sitting there. King will be in like the outfit that you're supposed to go in there and be like a tech, an IP tech for something. You're like, I need to check the Sony mainframe.
fake stress tested.
Well, there's no stress test. Just 2 people and it went down.
He
Paul.
got that Xbox necklace on, and they're like, "Yo, we don't allow that here. Are you discriminating?" Like,
This guy right here, man.
Take a picture. Turn my camera on, my chest camera. Hey, record this guy.
Messy. Anyway, we go with the super chat stuff.
Yeah.
We are caught up. No,
Alright,
I'm back in. Microwave's
The
off.
plane is
Wait,
coming from
real
south.
quick, we got Kate. No, is it for me?
Yeah, I think so.
The plane
So
is on
no,
your
so
side.
the plane is my AC. You guys are just getting normalized to the sound of it. So I guess when I unmute, you just hear it like boom.
What it is,
Yeah,
is the
noise
mic-
canceling.
Then it cancels out.
Yeah.
When you mute and when you unmute, the mic has to readjust.
It
Yeah.
booms, yeah. So it
Sound.
booms. That's what it is.
We
Okay.
got 5
Take those
gifted
ACs
Iron
back.
Lords podcast memberships from Kay
Oh.
Johnson. man.
Okay. Oh, salute. Salute
But
to the
I love that
homegirl.
they did that gift thing, man.
Salute to the homegirl. She outside.
man.
Yeah, salute. She be rapping.
Yeah.
Salute. I forgot poll real quick. Last week poll results are in. People spoken to the question with the recent controversy regarding The Last of Us 1 remake leaks and price point. Which opinion do you align with the most? The winner of a close three-way ILP poll at 41% of the vote was game companies should be called out for charging full price on a game remastered multiple times in a short time frame. The changes are not substantial enough to warrant $70 group. Coming in at second at 33% was the Messy Lords. I don't care because when it's the game you love, you gonna bend the knee anyway. And in last place at 25% of the vote was the market dictates the value of the game. Gamers should be allowed to be excited for a remake or remaster without being chastised. Shout out to all the lords who participated. Lord Addict, the realm agrees with you, but it was close. It was close. You know what you feel? They saying that they don't feel it's worth the 70.
It's not worth it. Like,
So you
I
agree?
don't. Yeah, I agree. Obviously, you know, and I want to point out that even if the realm disagreed with me, I'm still right. So you know, it is what it is. If they disagree, I'm gonna say I'm right. If they agree, I'm gonna really say I'm right. So you know, shout out to the realm for knowing where that
for knowing where to
confidence
be at. No doubt, Addicts World right there. You already know. I heard some super chats or something going on, memberships going off. Something was going
Yeah,
on.
it was memberships.
Okay.
Like half the chats, man. Let's get as many as that chat green, man. People get up to that membership. Let's get that green in that chat, man.
Yeah.
Put some logos in that chat too. We got 5 new realm members, man. I want to see some logos. I want to see some crests in that chat. Get some crests in that chat.
Yeah, man. So I am up first. EA, man. Black Panther game. Shout out to Jeff Grubby Grub, Giant Venture Beat and all that, and GamesBeat, excuse me, and game his show Game Mess Morning. So yeah, it looks like electronic.
Real quick.
Yes.
Sorry.
No,
So
you
Shady
good.
said Addicts World sounds like a dictatorship. It is. It totally
Shout out to Jeff Grove again on the Game Mess. Yeah, EA is getting into a superhero game. Looks like they are going to. The title's early in development as far as the Black Panther game. It's a single player affair. New Seattle studio founded by former Monolith Productions VP and studio head Kevin Stevens is likely working on the project. Starting with the death of one Black Panther, players take on a character that is becoming the newest incarnation of the Wakandan hero. And then we got, I think, a little bit more details, not too much more. But yeah, so pretty much it's in development. Title is Project Rainer. I talk about who was developing it, and again, single player and stuff like that. So wanted to bring this to the realm. This was a big one. A lot of people were excited. Some people, you know, maybe concerned. Addict, me, you had some conversations offline about it. So let's start with you, man. EA Black Panther game. What you feeling?
I think they do have some people over there that made the Lord of the Ring games from WB, so that's very appealing because I really enjoy that engine. Well, not the engine, just the game in general. It's a shame they couldn't get the Nemesis engine as well. You know, I still don't understand why the government let them copyright that engine. It's still to this day just mind boggles me. But you know, we'll see. You know, there are some talent over there. I do feel like what made that, you know, Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor, such relevant games was that Nemesis engine. So we're going to have to see how they incorporate Black Panther. But the good thing is I have a lot of faith in, man, I forgot his name
Monolith?
already. I have a lot of faith in the dude at Respawn.
Oh, you talking about my man? Okay, you talking about
Yeah.
my
Well,
man.
what's your
Okay.
man's name then?
Oh, but you don't even know. You can't be your man's if you don't know his name.
Don't make me Google it.
Vinny Zam.
Vinny Z, baby.
So you know, I'm hoping with any luck, you know, EA will let him manage that at least to the point where they'll give that studio, whatever the name's gonna be, the same privileges that he had making, you know, Fallen Order. Because what is it called?
Yeah, Jedi Fallen Order. You got it.
Jedi Fallen Order. So I just hope it's a good game because I do think that, you know, people automatically go off of it's EA. I would have been 100% with you guys before Fallen Order. I'm like, nah, they about
You like, you good, yeah.
But after Fallen Order, now I'm gonna say like I was here before Fallen Order about the making a Marvel game, but now I'm like here. You know, by 25%, you know, 75 they mess it up, 25 they do.
Okay.
But if Vince is in charge, it's like a year.
Well, we don't know if Vince is in charge. We just know that.
No, but
yeah.
I know he's over a lot of studios now.
Right,
So
he's elevated over there.
if he's influencing it in any sort of way.
Okay, fair enough. Lord Sarv, we had a big discussion, about Wakanda Forever trailer that bust out into an MCU podcast that the realm clearly loved, which was interesting. So I figured this would be a good, topic to kind of bring back right on time, right? When Lord's talked about it first. So what did you feel when you heard EA Black Panther game in development?
I mean, first, we also kind of had a little bit of this conversation about the value of Monolith outside of other WB properties.
We did have this on Defining Duke Ultimate.
On Defining Duke Ultimate, and how, the guys at those studios, whether it's as a collective Monolith or just individually, they have the chops to make third-person action games. So for me, anybody that's associated with that studio or WB Montreal or whatchamacallit, the studio making Suicide Squad, Rocksteady. Those guys know how to make their person action games. So the first thing I heard when I heard EA was like, oh no.
Yeah, so Attic was bombing me. He was just like, oh no. Man.
But then when I heard that it was a new studio, and and honestly, it's one of those things that's an immediate reaction.
You saw the ladies.
Yeah, no, because I have my niece and my nephew here, and somebody doesn't seem to understand the meaning of mute.
Yeah, so I've had that. When you about to beat your child up.
Yeah.
Yo, sorry, guys. Continue.
Exactly. So, give me one more.
Now, do your business. We'll come back. So I've got to handle something. King. So look, man, we had the big discussion. And you had a lot of thoughts, about the Wakanda Forever, trailer. Now that you hear EA, Black Panther game, the player is becoming the new Black Panther in line with the old Black Panther potentially dying. So, yeah, what do you think?
Apparently,
King's
like
face. I don't like King's face.
Apparently,
wait,
like
hold
the
on.
Leaks,
You get.
Well, real quick before he goes, apparently, like the leaks was like, you're supposed to be like a resident that is building your way up to be Black Panther or something like that.
Yo, speak sovereign, because that AC is crazy.
Yeah, it's muted now. He good. Everybody's happy that the discipline was in order. Everybody's happy.
Hello.
Daddy Solve. Daddy Solve is back.
Yeah, I'm glad to have them with me, but it's one of the things like, hello, I told you.
Pow, pow.
Exactly.
Pow, pow. Continue.
So so going back to it, like again, initially my reaction to the EA was like, oh man, but then hearing about the new studio led by Monolith leads, the fact that to be quite honest, after they gave Vince Zampella more power, after they seen what Respawn was able to do with Fallen Order and what we hope they do with Jedi Survivor, I have a little more confidence in what they could do with a third-person action game. I feel that they do believe in the importance of single-player games again, right? Don't want to go down that route again. So I'm excited for it, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm excited for what they can do. EA, let's recapture some of that old EA mojo. Okay. Like they haven't had that in a long time, and I would love to see them come out and with an amazing open-world Black Panther game that is, again. It's one of those things when you think about the locomotion, or what did you say?
I'm done.
I'm done.
Did you see Attic? Did you see?
My God.
Yo,
Sean would punish me like that.
Yo,
wow.
Yo,
man. Listen, man, you got to put that in color, bro.
No, he didn't acknowledge it. You hit him with the king.
Solve is taking on a strike on reading joysticks.
Yeah, he's trying. Listen,
it's gonna be need like a $20 for him to
let me play with your joystick. He trying to silence you. We just want to let you know we see where you.
We see where you at.
Oh my God, continue.
So they said the chanclet that came out. Yeah, it did.
Yeah, definitely.
The palo.
So I'm excited for this. I do think hopefully this team being put together has what it takes to do this. The leadership obviously has experience in that, so I'm happy about that. The question is, what kind of game do they make? Because they're talking about an open world game. When we talk about Black Panther, his skill set, like you need to think about the locomotion, right? You need to think about how he gets around. If you think about locomotion in Spider-Man, you think about what you assume they're gonna do with Wolverine on the Insomniac side, right?
Melee character, because
exactly. There's a lot of melee. He has a lot of stuff where his suit absorbs energy and he pushes that back out. Pause. So and also story-wise, I really do hope that this is a T'Challa game. I really do hope that
Panther died. They said there is a new Black Panther.
I'm hoping. I can understand the premise of like you are the Black Panther.
So you want T'Chaka to T'Challa? You want T'Chaka's death to T'Challa?
I want it to be T'Chaka's death. However, they sort of engulf that whatever story they want to build around T'Chaka's death, and T'Challa takes over.
So civil war to Black Panther.
I don't want this. I want something of that nature. Like, give me a T'Challa story. I don't understand this sort of othering of T'Challa. Like, I would be disappointed if that is the case, where it's just like this blank slate Black Panther.
I actually think it would be cool to like build a character to like earn the right to be.
Speaking of build character, I know I got a king, and we got that is also a very controversial subject on social media. If there, some people were concerned by the verbiage of the single player game where the player becomes the new Black Panther. Some people were concerned that there would be a character creator, and then there was other concern about
make white characters they can be the Black Panther,
about the ethnicity.
Make no sense.
If it would allow like a Skyrim level creator,
which is why I don't think it fits.
King is disgusting.
Here we go. It's gonna be really bad if there's a character developer you can make a white.
Nah, man. Like and again, I don't even want to. I don't want to even comment on this subject. I do not want to comment on this subject.
It is a concern, but finish your thought.
Character named the White Tiger. Make that character.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Please take that decision out of our hands and make it a T'Challa game, and that's it. Like, let's do that.
But again, in fairness, I'm joking. In fairness, I see Slow-Mo in the chat. Well, let me shout out my man Grubby Grub, Lord Jeff Grubb. He said, because this came up, and again, he got the time to connect. He was like, no. He's like, for what he's hearing, there's no character you would not be able to make another ethnicity Black Panther. But I thought it was funny that there was a lot of vitriol and concern that this could happen in a Black Panther game. But according to Grubb, just for the record, I know I'm joking. From what we hear now, you cannot do that. We assume the ethnicity will be another African character.
No way that they would do that. Like the amount of heat they would get, I couldn't even describe.
No, but again, I understand where the conversation comes from.
Saul, just think about it this way. You scared to talk about it. They did it.
I understand where the combo comes from, right? Because the same thing happened with the GTA leaks, right? And they were like, well, "What do you mean they're not going to be, as edgy anymore? What do you mean? Like, you just never know what the thinking is at the highest levels of that company."
Oh, so that's the EA fear then.
Yeah. Exactly. It's that thing of like, well, I don't want to offend anybody. If you don't want to offend anybody, just make sure that that character creator doesn't go too wild. That's all.
Fair enough, King. I am dying to hear your thoughts on this based on the Wakanda, trailer, Forever trailer, and then now this news. EA Black Panther game. Where do you stand on this? How do you feel?
Well, I'm kind of over the whole Disney bastardizing Black Panther. To the extent that we are caught up with an actor that played the role who passed away.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
You're talking about a fictional character that can never die. Right? So there's no vaulting away something that can never die. All right, there's presidents that's in front of you. Had that same energy with Christopher Reeve. Did you have that? Did you have that same energy with Christopher Reeve? How many iterations of Superman do we need to have?
When they continued that universe, that same universe with another Superman.
They do it with Batman. They do it with every character known to man. But here we go with this. I did not talk when nobody was talking. All right, so we did this part right here, and We're not voting this character off, like this one specific character, because he was so successful. There's a political agenda around this whole thing, to be honest with you, and I'm seeing it and it's making me sick, right? The movie was powerful, good. It reached everybody and it made an awareness. That awareness scared the hell out of a lot of people. So, okay, now you want to automatically attach Chadwick Boseman to T'Challa. Like he was not the living embodiment of T'Challa. He was just a great actor. All right, so we're not gonna do that, and it nauseates me. I don't want EA to do MCU Black Panther. I don't want it, because that means that you got to follow these stupid guidelines that are set into place and try to keep up with what their storyline is as far as T'Challa passing away. There's billions of stories that you can tell from the Black Panther inside the books that has absolutely nothing to do with the MCU, which I think that Black Panther is a better character than the character that's inside the MCU. Right? I thought that character was timid. I thought that character wasn't bold enough. I thought that character wasn't exactly who the Black Panther was in the books. But you have an inclusive, all-for-one Black Panther, and Killmonger's thought process was more aligned with the radical nature of Black Panther at that period of time, right? So really, if you really like the Black Panther, then you should love Killmonger, because his mentality was that, but also keeping Wakanda secluded away because of the technology. Anyway, I don't care about that. It's about EA.
Right, that's my question.
I don't trust them. I don't. They don't. And everybody keeps on bringing up Fallen Order, but it was broken in certain spots in the beginning. There's nothing really fluid with certain things in the game.
Fallen Order was amazing.
All right, let's
I went to download it again the other day. I beg to differ, right? It's a really good game. It's a really good.
Well, at least
Star
it's good.
Wars game.
Okay, cool. At least it's good.
No, I didn't say it was trash.
Oh, okay. I was like, damn.
But if we're doing superhero games, and my top superhero game is Spider-Man 2018, and we're talking about that, then I want that level of care. I want that level of storytelling. I want that level of transition seamlessly from action to storytelling to the panels. So has EA shown me they can do that? No, they haven't. So when I see the game, I'm gonna reserve judgment until I see the game, because obviously they're doing the game. But again, I don't want them nowhere near it, to be honest with you. I would pick a whole ton of other people to do it. And when they said EA was coming out with the game, I'm like, oh no, hell no.
Not even Monolith, not even no, the Shadow of Mordor guys.
No, Shadow of Mordor was cool. You know, Attic talks more about the Nemesis engine than actually the game.
Well, I mean, I like the game, but the Nemesis engine is definitely what made it.
See?
So.
Is the Nemesis engine is actually the catalyst for him to really be attached to said game.
If you take the Nemesis engine out of the game, I don't even know how they would have made the game.
You see? So again, I don't trust those dudes. And EA, I guess I'm so soured on EA products.
Okay, that's fair. That's your opinion.
That I don't know how they're gonna mess it up. EA will always have the opportunity to give you a slam dunk, and they will always finger roll it.
Okay, so you're looking at like stuff like Anthem. You look at that stuff.
Anthem, right?
Okay. I want to get, before I go, Attic wanted to get some bars off. So Attic, I know you have some stuff you have to say.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, I definitely agree with you. You know, especially the Disney takes, like, you know, I do feel like, you know, because I'm kind of like in the middle with that, because part of me is like, you know, I don't think they want to annoy half of Twitter, because just about as many people as I say to recast them, I see just as many people saying not to recast them. And then when you come to the EA faction, it's like, I don't know if that's going to be part of the Disney stuff, because I personally feel like if that was the case, they would probably have Insomniac make it, because it seems like that is going to be their like game cinematic universe. So, you know, I don't know if they're going to be connected in any way, but I do feel like I'm with you with EA. I don't think EA's done enough to prove themselves in terms of single player thing. But what I will say is, like, Fallen Order to me gave me enough faith that there is a shot and hope that
Right.
they can do it. As far as how they do it, as far as who they let do it, and you said like, you know, a different studio. I couldn't really tell you another studio besides Rocksteady, which is making something else, besides Insomniac, which is making two games, and besides this studio, which we don't even know them because they're a new studio. That's all.
But this is the thing. This is another thing that Grubb speculated, was the fact that there's probably another game from Marvel in the works at EA. So he's speculating that they might have the same type of deal with EA that they initially had with Square Enix. So we could definitely see more coming from them. So again, the Black Panther would be the test bed to see exactly what the heck's going on, you know, what they can do or can't do. But I do think there is more than one in the works.
Right. They can destroy everything in one shot.
It is crazy to think that if Insomniac makes their own universe in the gaming scene with Marvel, and 2K and EA makes their own. So it's just like, that's crazy if you think about it. It's two cinematic universes in gaming off of Marvel by two different companies.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, it's a fun discussion. I thought I want to comment some stuff in the chat between Shady and Slow-Mo too, because they actually have some interesting points I wanted to touch on. But look, you know, I'm kind of definitely with Sovereign Addict on this one, only because, King, I understand your concern. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to minimize that. EA's history is not the greatest over the last couple of years in reference to, you know, it's been more of a monetization track and regurgitating, you know, whether it be the FIFA and the you know, the Maddens and stuff like that, and not really truly iterating. I think for me, you know, I'm confident 2 reasons. One, what Addict said, I know Vince is not developing this game. You know what I'm saying? I know he's not, but his influence to me means a lot, because the Jedi Fallen Order is really revered by a lot of people, because everyone thought, okay, single player they're going to mess this up. And let's be honest, we didn't even think they would get a single player Star Wars type game with a narrative focus, because we like, okay, where's the microtransactions at? Where's the things that they do? Where's the multiplayer only? What's that other one? Battlefront or whatever?
Battlefront 2,
right, where it's like multiplayer only. They're going to figure out a way to monetize it and churn it out and not respect the history. So when we see Vince get there, they have success doing it the traditional way, right? Then it's like, okay, let's elevate him, because we didn't expect that to go. And another thing I think we're not giving enough credit is, even though he doesn't make technically single player games, Yosef Fares, right? Because you look at It Takes Two, it looked like a No Way Out. Even though they're co-op, they're really single player kind of story based games, but you're playing it with a friend. He's involving that friend. And I think what they're seeing is, yo, we can do these games and still win, right? We could do these. Now, where I'm with you, King, is you know the lore better than me. I never challenge your lore or MCU, Marvel characters. You have all these books. You know every nuance, every detail. The thing that bothers me is the storyline appears to be mirroring what's going on in Wakanda Forever. Right? And that's where me or you are 100% aligned, because there's a part of me that's like, why we have to kill Black Panther off to start off a new story, right? And again, I'm not trying to make this a complete racial thing. I have a sensitivity towards it. You know what I'm saying? That's just, I'm going to be honest, right? That's just, I just look at it like, damn, like, okay, our character has to have this. Okay, fine, we have the character, but my thing is, we could tell a T'Challa story. Like, T'Challa's an amazing character, right? Now, the thing I do want to touch on in the chat, and again, shout out to Slow Mom and Shady. I'm not trying to call y'all out specifically. I just feel y'all having an interesting debate, which was about and Addict, me and you talk about this a number of times. We talk about everything, about quote-unquote race swapping in video games and stuff like that, right? And I do think Slow-Mo does make a fantastic point, where the actual origin of the characters is wholly based on where they're from and the ethnicity. So thus, you know, he made an example of like, are we going to have another race of Shang-Chi if he comes out? You see what I'm saying? Because the whole character's origin is based on their ethnicity, their race.
Because everybody wanted Iron Fist to be Asian descent,
right?
Which he's not.
And that's why I in this case, 'cause I understand people like, yo, but race swap all the time. Why the problem with Black Panther if there's a character created? That's the point that I think people are trying to say in that regard. And to be honest, I was just having fun. I was just being silly, so please don't take it as a thing. I just thought it was funny. That
That's a serious concern.
Yeah.
And your seriousness, your silliness, in every joke, every 100% of a joke, there's 10% that is serious.
Yeah,
that's a concern. If they would ever dream of that, putting a character creator that you can actually make characters of different, hell no, not that character, and you're not gonna do that. You can't, because it doesn't make any sense. All right. Oh, he was a light-skinned dude in the heart of Africa with the sun beating down on his back. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do a black Shang-Chi. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do a black Iron Fist. We're not gonna do that. And what I'm seeing with Disney, what they're having so much liberty with, I mean, I love the hell out of Disney, right? But I'm seeing a lot of stuff, like what they did with my internals. That fast dude, they gender swapped him, right? And
what's the other one? I forgot the other one.
Yeah, exactly.
The ancient one from Doctor Strange.
That's right.
So it's certain things that you grew up with, and you make concessions. I've been making concessions with Disney for a very long time, just for inclusion's sake. I'm not making no concessions on this one, bro. I'm not gonna sit there and take a step back, because I will stand up and I will fight for Shang-Chi if you try that with him. I will stand up and fight with Black Panther if you try that with that. This is just certain things that we're gonna keep it a buck with, and we're not gonna play that game with it. And you say it as a joke, but I know in the meeting, when these dudes don't play games and they don't care about no comic books, they said, listen, we want everybody to enjoy this. We don't want to segment it off to one race of people, because that doesn't make money. At the bottom line, when is the integrity of that actual character that Stan Lee made, that he died for?
Shout out to Stan Lee. Shout out to Stan Lee.
You know, Jack Kirby and these guys, they worked so hard to weave this lore into these characters, and they stood up at a time when it wasn't popular.
Cool. Oh, that was not cool.
All right,
that was
Black
not,
Panther
at that time
wasn't popular then.
Yeah, you're right.
So to do that and to change that right there, hell no, I'm gonna take a stance on that. I would not support it. I would not talk about it if that was to be the thing.
No doubt. Addict, you want to get your balls off there and move on?
I think race swapping is only acceptable when the character itself, even if you made them white, black, Asian, it doesn't matter. It's not going to change anything in the actual lore of anything. Like, Albert Wesker. A lot of people got mad because they made him black, but it's just like, sure, there's little things that would change, but like it's not drastic. Like, because there's certain things people only like take as the initial character, but then you got to take it as you got to switch. Most likely, got to change their kids a different color. It's like, Albert Wesker, I felt like if he was black, it wouldn't really drastically change anything. Like, sure, some things might have to be changed, but it's not something like Black Panther. Like, his entire origins is revolved around African culture. Like, how do you realistically change that in any way, shape, or form without changing the entire entity of the character?
Yeah,
it's like the equivalent of changing. What's that character?
Which one?
That was in Captain America. The character that was racist. He fought him in the first one. He was
the Red Skull. The Red Skull.
Like, to change him to a different color. Like, his entire origins is off him being German.
Let me jump to super chat so we can. There's one that addresses this. We got Ty Casares, $15 super chat. If there can be a black Spider-Man, Miles, which I like a lot, there can be a white Panther. But in the first game of Black Panther, it should be T'Challa. Have an amazing day, Lords. I respect the opinion, but I disagree wholeheartedly for what Addict just said.
There's
the
nothing
origins
in origins that determines his color.
Color whatsoever. The whole point of Spider-Man is that it can be anyone. It literally can be anyone.
That's not Peter Parker, though.
But it's not Peter Parker, right?
Right? You got Miles Morales. They literally made a whole different person to become Spider-Man, the inclusion Spider-Man. All right, don't mess with my Peter Parker, bro. If I woke up tomorrow and my Peter Parker was black, I will have a problem. Right? I like my Peter Parker exactly from Queens. I like my white Peter Parker from Queens. I love him. And don't do that. If they make Miles is Miles. That's cool. And if they Hispanic and black, that's cool. But Peter Parker, come on. Don't do that.
To my knowledge, because I'm not 100% up on comic books.
I'm too much
general.
into comic books, man.
To my knowledge, the only way you can even eat the fruit, I think that's how you become Black Panther. You can eat the fruit, and the only way that like the powers is bestowed upon you is the ancestors have to approve of you. So it's just like, how does it make sense a white dude going there and that entire culture is different? And they're like, how'd you get here?
Yeah, exactly. Because you look at the MCU movies, right? And you can see a scenario where the movie would be like, well, something happens, T'Challa's not there, nobody's there to take up the mantle. Shuri doesn't want to take up the mantle. Winter Soldier will take up the mantle.
But then it would make no
Steve
sense.
Rogers will take up the mantle. Like I could see something like that happening.
It would make no sense to why the ancestors would approve of that to let him take up that mantle.
Right. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. I'm just saying the people that in charge, when you look at the scenarios created in these stories, you could see a scenario where somebody's like, yeah, we could do this and get away with it. It's fine. And no, it's not fine.
I would just say I just wanted to bring, I didn't want to make this, but I did feel that we had to talk about it because, I'm a person that does like to listen to the other side. And there's a contingent that feels like, some of their favorite character, what's the terminology? Woke, right? So they'll be like, now they just woke and they changed a Caucasian or white character into another race or another gender. And I just wanted to have that discussion because it pertained to this only because the character creator thing came up as something that people were worried about with a Black Panther game, and then I seen Grub get ahead of it. So again, normally God knows you had these type of discussions, political and all that stuff. Yeah. But it pertained to video games, and I felt we did need to talk about it. I don't want to set off a powder cake with everybody, but I had to feel like we had to talk about it.
Not to mention, like the bad, like we only talk about if they incorporated it. If they did, it would be so much racial stuff that would go on the internet. People would put a white Black Panther up. It would be taken so left that it's just like, let's just avoid all of that. We don't need that on the internet right now.
It's a good discussion. I'm glad we had it. Salute to the chat for mostly being respectful with each other, and thank y'all. You know what I'm saying?
I am aggravated to a level that you have no idea.
I know you keeping it together.
I am.
I know.
My wife just texted me and said, "You sound absolutely annoyed." I am. I think
the only thing that I would be okay with if they did have a character creation is that you couldn't be white, but like people keep saying like if they did something like something similar to, I don't know, King.
You're gonna have 5 shades of dark skin. You're gonna have one that sticks out the window when I drive. You're gonna have this dark skin arm that stays inside. You're gonna have this dark skin one right here that's not directly in the sun.
No,
and you're gonna have this dark skin one with the sun hit down on the top of the head. You're gonna have 5 shades of dark skin, and that's the only dark skins you're gonna have. 5 shades of dark skin. So that's the only character creator you gonna get, and it's gonna be 5 shades of King. That's it.
Oh my God!
I'm not even talking about. I'm talking about in terms of how the story will go. Because I saw the chat saying that like you have to be a certain like person to be able to even to my knowledge, and that's I'm only going off the movies. I don't know how much they took off the movies. You just have to get nominated by a tribe, right? To fight the king for his powers. Like how does that work, King? Like. If they were going that direction,
they really bastardized that whole thought process.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I only know I'm casual. I'm casual comic book addict.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna stay into casual realm, right? They did have a fight for the mantle of leadership, right? So I'm saying they're probably saying the rational thought to it is how can this guy get put into the tribe, right? First of all, those 4 or 5 tribes that are there in Wakanda are all of African descent, right? So that probably cannot happen. Let's say the Winter Soldier did mate with somebody of high stature there, and he did form a child. Now that child can grow and he can be mixed and he can actually be part of that tribe, and that can happen. I just gave you a scenario if I'm writing a book on how that can actually happen. All right. So, but again, remember he was accepted as the White Wolf inside their whole tribal scenario. So if he was allowed to marry a woman of Wakandan descent and they did have a child, then that child can be born into that, and he can ascend and grow up to become the leader of said tribe, and that can definitely happen. I gave
a scenario,
the logical blueprint of that happening. Anything outside of that, I don't believe that can happen that way.
Okay.
But they gave you the out in doing so. But this again, I said I'm not for that, and I don't want. I'm about protecting the integrity of the characters, right? To hell with anything else. And this is the old fuddy-duddy, get off my lawn. I'm that dude.
Being honest, yeah,
all right, I'm completely that dude. Right, so when I'm reading books, I don't see color certain things because Thanos is purple, right? This is what I grew up with, but I also grew up with Peter Parker being from Queens, and I identified with his story because of X, Y, and Z. I identified with Black Panther because of certain things. So when I'm talking from a base of Marvel Universe before Disney, before all this other stuff that was going on there.
You've been consistent. You've been consistent all the board. Doesn't matter what race. You've been consistent. I'll give you that. There's
just don't change up my characters like
I feel like let's get it. We got to move on.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out I wasn't even referring to the tribes being white or anything like that.
Yeah, no, I know.
No, but I mean, I gave you a good scenario where your thing can happen.
Like where you spawn as a random person in like one of the tribes, and you work your way up one of the tribes, and then you can slowly get your way to have your tribe recognize you as that person that can be nominated. I think they could go that direction. Like the thing is like I don't think if they wanted to make a Black Panther didn't have T'Challa as like the main character, I could see them doing it if they did it the right way.
And hold on, I wanna I'm sorry to cut. I just want to address something because I see people attacking Shady, right? Listen, we can all have opinions and disagree. Let's just be respectful. One thing about us is even if it's an opinion we disagree with, we allow it to be heard. So please lay off Shady. We just wanted to have the discussion because it's an important discussion, right?
It's important.
And we could have this. We could all be people and have a nice intellectual discussion. We ain't got to attack each other or call anybody names. Just let's be respectful, y'all. That's all I want to say.
So let's round it out. Finishing it out, I'm gonna break protocol again. Bring one more from Slow Mo because I think this brings in another conversation that has been happening.
Right.
Hold on a second. Slow Mo backslap $5 super chat. I don't even like them making Namor some kind of Aztec warrior. Why are they bowing down to DC Aquaman when Namor predates Aquaman? So this goes to the story. The story now that so Namor in Wakanda Forever will not be from Atlantis. The kingdom is called Talokan. Right, so the origins of Namor in that regard are going to be changed, and they're going to be more reminiscent of, again, in terms of look, in terms of like the history and the lore they're going to build around it is more about Aztec warriors. So yeah, I'll defer to King on this.
I can tell you why. When WB trademarked Aquaman, and Marvel was going through this whole thing with Namor. Remember, Namor was owned by different companies when they were selling off different stuff. So they weren't able to get the rights to him until now, and they got the rights to him now.
Right.
But that had already passed where Aquaman is Atlantean, right? Aquaman, they trademarked that whole thing. So Marvel has to do a workaround. I do like the fact that it's an Aztec Inca style, because what you have to look at, what was the original tribes that you were looking at that a period of time that either washed off the face of the earth, right? And you can say the Incas washed off of the face of the earth. Where did they go? They could have went to the sea, right? So you can tell that story from that aspect. If it's a copyright thing and it's something like that, but you still have to get the story told, the story is being told in that way because this is no other way other than to tell it, right? So again, this is Disney working with what they have available, right? It's not really changing up the story for the character's sake. It's trademarks that they can't use.
Gotcha.
So they cannot be Atlantean.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay, cool. So we good. Thank y'all, chat, for being respectful. Clean up.
No doubt. Let me get these super chats before we move on there.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Hold on. I think I got some funny ones.
Yeah, they lose. I see some of those super chats already with this. I knew it was going to spark some. I was like, we got to have the talk. We got to have it. It pertains to games.
You got Baby Farva, $2 super chat. Black Panther 3 starring Vanilla Ice.
They out of pocket. They out of pocket.
Then we got Aweedable, $5 super chat. I can't wait for that creative character because I'm making Aloy, Horizon Forbidden Panther.
Ridiculous.
Then we got Stitch, $5 super chat. I hate you, Stitch. From Let Me Play With Your Joystick, wish Saab would punish me like that. Sorry, had to do it. Pause. I said I only see color, and Stitch made sure that happened.
Yeah, he made sure he's gonna read that.
Then we got Splendiferous, $5 super chat. Lord Saab, let's not beat the kids up on the podcast, player. You might soil your reputation with the person that want to play with your joystick.
Yo,
he's like, calmate, man.
Calmate.
No, there were no beatings going on. I just
it's
wanted
bro,
the air.
nah, that look. I know. Look, you already know you got to be careful.
You know why I gave him the look? Because when he walked over and he immediately sat down, he wasn't paying attention to the scenario around him. So I looked at him like, hey, you can't, let's turn that off.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, whatever.
Oh,
and kept on. So that's why the
when I see that look, the Bronx came out like somebody about to get beat.
Yo, when the headset
said, hold on. Yo.
What happened here?
Yeah. Yo, your man be like, yo, hold up. And then he did.
Hold on.
You know it's somebody about to get the beat.
Yo, Cog, it goes like this. Wait a second.
Yeah, and then the camera go off.
No. One moment. Like,
uno momento.
Well, I was like, somebody got the beat.
It was just the air squad. Don't worry about it.
It was a fly. It was a fly.
No beating of children.
There's no beating of children. Listen, it's a lot of flies sometimes.
You better rod spoil a child.
Then we got Baby Farva once again, $5 super chat. They retold Batman's origin story like 5 times. Lots of quality black male actors can step into the role of Black Panther. That is true.
Yep.
Ty Casares, once again, the Bronx wilding out. The police out here in the streets. Ty Casares, 50. Oh, we read that one. Okay. Then we got Baby Farva, $5 super chat. Okay. White culture co-opted the word woke that we've been using for ages and made it something negative. It's not respectfully. I wouldn't say it's white culture. It's just, it's the way of the world right now.
Yeah,
but that's.
Yeah. People don't know.
And then I want to point out that I see people in the chat calling Shady a racist and stuff. Like
he is not. He's in my DMs. That is a friend of mine. So look, stop bothering him.
We gotta stop with this. The moment anything is done on the opposite thing, you
For
automatically
real.
label them a racist.
Yeah.
Because then at that point, both parties don't want to talk anymore.
Exactly.
There's no communication.
Conversation. Once the name calling happened, there's no conversation.
I can vouch from me and him talk all the time. All right. So if Shady was a racist, he wouldn't be bothering with the blackest dude that you can see on this panel.
So coming from a dude that gets called a racist, often, may I add you, I get called a racist generally often just for having any kind of opinion.
I feel that.
That is being white. And being called a racist is like the most disrespectful thing you can do. Like
I know, I know it hurts because me and Addict talk all night, so he ain't calling me at night.
Yeah, especially people for the culture. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
stop. Don't use that.
We need to stop being so damn outraged by these words sometimes, and stop and think for a moment of what you're saying.
Well, what I say is like, I respectfully disagree.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't feel that opinion, and that's it. And keep it moving. And keep it moving. That's it.
Exactly. Let me see. We got Jeesh, $2 super chat. Can I be Mexican or Dominican at least? The character created
you
on
could,
you.
but they not in Wakanda. You have to be Blatino man over there.
Yo, time. Moving on.
I don't care. I got Dominican kids.
I can't believe this man just said that.
He said the Platano Panther.
Yo, time. We gonna get canceled.
Yo, so Blatino Gato.
Yeah, I got Platano.
Time. Moving on. He said sign Wakanda. Yo, I'm done. They stupid in the chat. Keep moving.
Why you say Wakanda forever? Yo, sir. Yeah, because you know how Dominicans and Puerto Ricans always mispronouncing things.
Yo, you can't be saying that.
Mira Wakanda, man.
Yo, I gotta cut y'all mic. Y'all wildin'. Move on, please.
He went on Wakanda.
Oh my God.
Yo,
Mandingo McThickens, $5 super chat. He said the next Black Panther should be Robert Downey Jr.'s Lincoln Osiris from Tropic Thunder. It's a win-win. So he must keep Lincoln's voice as Black Panther.
Wow.
Don't do that to me.
Yo, Robert Downey Jr. blackface.
Oh my God! Y'all took this topic left. Oh my God!
Let me get to this topic. Let me go get a water.
Go.
And we got Stewie 108 $20 super chat. Thank you so much.
You got this pain laughing. The whole. Oh my God! This chat is hilarious right now. Continue.
You Latinos, you know how we do.
Yo, the Latino community is in here. Hard body
keep my mouth
karate.
shut because I can get canceled.
Yeah, you got to be careful. You gotta be careful, man. I don't want you to get canceled.
So we got JC Carla Moreau, $2 super chat. Albino filter. That's crazy. Yeah,
I don't like this plot. The new Panther stuff. They gotta stop. Yo, they see from Wakanda. They loose. They go crazy. Continue.
Hold on a second. Let me see if anything jumps.
Oh God, y'all killed me with that one.
Yo, hold on a second. No, we got some foolishness in this chat
today. Woo.
Let me see. Let me roll back a little bit. Roll back. Okay, we got the albino filter. Then we got Flame $2 super chat. Well, anyways, .. Hashtag free joystick. Hashtag read them side. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. Listen,
stop silencing them, son.
Listen,
I pay good money.
I can't help it if my mic stops working sometimes.
That's what it is. He has technical difficulties on specific super chats.
Then we have Masoquista, $5 super chat, which means masochist for the of you who don't speak Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for not race swapping anyone. Y'all want a white Black Panther? Just make white Cheetah. Just make something new instead. Otherwise, cash grab.
To be honest with you, like, just leave that whole Wakanda, like, because in order to make a white Black Panther, you have to somewhere incorporate lore with white people going into Wakanda. Just leave that whole thing alone. Like,
they did it already
with
the Winter Soldier, and that's my only way for y'all to get in.
I
showed you because they accepted him into the tribe.
They did. Was it? Yeah.
Then we got Taika Casares, $3 super chat. There's a multiverse. So Donald Trump Panther. Oh my God.
All right, y'all wildin'.
They wildin'.
Make Wakanda great again.
Wakanda great again. He gonna have the mask and then the hair above the mask.
Yo, time. Moving on.
Hold on. Let me see. Let me see.
South Wakanda. I'm done.
No, I can't. Yeah, yo.
We're good.
We good? All right. Ooh, I couldn't wait for this next time. What?
Mango Pantera. That's right.
That was hilarious.
Man, people should do some super chats in purely Spanish so I can hear Saul say some Spanish.
Yeah, it'd be funny when you read
hilarious.
it. All right. We made it.
One more.
Super chats purely in Spanish.
Spartan Go 17, £2 super chat. Cast Slim Shady as Black Panther, bro. Yo.
He gonna have bars. Black Panther have bars for him.
He gonna dance off and he gonna rap off.
I can't.
Yeah, they're gonna have a rap off for instead of fighting. They're gonna have a rap off.
He's not fighting. He's rap battling.
One more.
Hey, that is the closest thing a white dude will ever be to Black Panther.
Yo, we got Pragmatic Eagle, $5 super chat. This is why ILP has no equal. We'll never find the laugh so hard outside of a comedy club. And also, you four gents, keep it respectful. Thank you.
That means that super chat means the world. Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, brother.
And then we got Not Jack, $5 super chat. Thank you, brother. And then Yay Baby Farva, $2 super chat. Time.
Yeah, time. It was loose.
All right, moving ahead.
All right, moving on. Okay, woo. All right, this is King's topic, y'all. You know
no. Okay, hold on. Let me sit back.
Sit back. You know what I'm saying?
Notice that we never say. Never mind. Let's just go.
That we never say it's somebody's topic, but we have to. This the new thing at it. We have to say it's King's topic.
Let them know. Let them know who topic it is.
Exactly, because we get labeled, so we have to let them
and
know.
all the people that label us seem to always just listen to the podcast right when King's
talking. And they'd be like, all of them have bias, all of them, and I'm like,
yo, what was so funny is he said RDX and then King.
Like, he didn't even say RDX. He said King.
King didn't say King's podcast. He said King.
Damn, we had an LLC for no reason.
Man, that's what's up.
Man, I gotta do it again, man. King comes in here every day and looks at the PlayStation fan. Was the moment they say something,
You triggered my trap card.
That's what he do. All right.
You just see like the old Yu-Gi-Oh shows where a card pops up and there's a picture of King like that.
Yeah, with the hat.
Someone do that for me, man. Put King on a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Put it on Twitter. Tag us.
We
in it.
Hayachi face.
All right, so here we are. So Microsoft and Sony financial drop this week, but Lord King definitely wanted to focus on Satya Nadella, saying that, you know, Xbox Series X and S has outsold the PlayStation 5 in North America for 3 quarters in a row. So this is basically stating that it continues to be the fastest selling Xbox generation as it's tracking ahead of Xbox One, 360 and the original Xbox. He revealed that it's been the market leader in the next generation market. That's a key statement. Next generation Switch, gang, salsa. We say in gaming, we've sold more consoles life to date than any previous generation of Xbox. The Series X and S was the best selling next generation console for North America for the quarters ending December 2021, March 2022, and June 2022. And then he said he referenced that it means that, hey, again, that the Series X and S have also the PlayStation 5 in the 3 most recent quarters, but not the Switch. And then he went on to talk about Xbox Cloud Gaming. And he said they've included over 1 million new users to the Xbox ecosystem. They partnered with Epic Games. Shout out to Lord Bill Stillwell over there at Epic Games to make Fortnite available for free via the browser. Said Nadella, over 4 million people have streamed the game to date, including over 1 million who were new to the
those number dudes.
Yeah, new to the ecosystem on that. So that was the initial talk. I know we have Sony numbers, but I guess I can comment on those since King wants to focus
wakes
on
up
this.
every morning and chooses violence.
Yes, he chooses violence.
I choose violence on Sunday.
So King, like, what's your feeling? This is your topic. You know, what are your feelings on these numbers?
Addict, in these last 3 quarters, how many times has the PlayStation outsold the Xbox Series consoles?
None.
Would you say 0?
Oh, Lord.
What is going on?
You know what? You know, King, in the states of North America, you know what Microsoft hears more than PlayStation right now? You know what they hear?
What they hear? Your button didn't work.
Oh, it didn't work? You didn't hear it?
Your button malfunction. Moving on. So King, what is the 0 about? What's the 0 about, sir? What's going on?
This 0 is how many wins Sony's had in the last 3 quarters. I told y'all when Jeff Grubby Grubb was here. No, it's an anomaly. You know, people just woke up that day. No, I said, what was it specifically that made these people do these things? And I'm telling you right now, I found out exactly what it is. I bailed the mouse. I got to the situation. I got to the crux. The cheap gamer is the PlayStation gamer. All right, y'all can sit there and talk about y'all wait for a PlayStation 5. None of y'all running the StockX. None of y'all
you know what, King?
Going over. Hey, Addict, I got a picture in the chat. Could you post that picture real quick?
What?
I send it to you.
Send it to you. Uh-oh.
Yeah, find it real quick. I send it to our chat. See if you can incorporate that.
You know why they did that PlayStation Plus thing, King? Because they need to sell them PlayStations in North America.
And it's not working. It's not working.
Addict not helping whatsoever.
As soon as Addict put that picture, show that picture, I'm going to tell you exactly why your numbers ain't right. And this is what's happening here.
Oh, God.
You guys right now are at a point where financially, it's the numbers that's dictating the loss. I told you it was going to be a 2-prong approach coming in. The financially affluent dudes was going to get the Series X, and the dudes that this is where your PlayStations is at. This is where all your PlayStations is at right now. These 2 dudes got all your PlayStations.
Hold on. I'm gonna come back.
Sitting in the warehouse right now, and you guys don't got them. So what y'all did? Y'all say, you know what? I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna buy a Series S.
Hold on, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna make it bigger.
Okay.
It's really.
Thank you. Enlarge that. Enlarge that for the people with the cataracts that was playing the Switch. Enlarge that for the cataract havers.
This guy right here, man.
I told you, dudes, that the worm has turned. It's selling more, and y'all know what the 360 was. See, this is the fear. The 360 was the most successful Xbox, right? It's outselling that. Why is it outselling?
Who the hell are these?
right here. The Grinches that stole Christmas. They got all your PlayStations. They got them lined up. They got them boxed up. You ready to rock. They outside. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This is what you talk about with being proactive. This is how you win a generation.
Are you implying?
I implying that they work. They got green masks on, so you know what team they down.
So you already know what side they on. Okay, I see what we're doing.
I know who they working with.
So this is the supply chain issue. This is
your PlayStations is under siege. Them.
I can't.
This clown with the firearm, I deemed a race swap. Can we change him?
Look, man, this is man. Thank you, Addict,
this
for
is
your
what I'm talking
your
about.
contribution.
I appreciate. This is how we win a generation. We hold on.
So
we have the warehouses. We have the facilities available.
The dude that
wait, are you saying this is a Microsoft storage facility?
First of all, Microsoft has absolutely nothing to do with
oh,
this.
you try not to incriminate your people now. Okay, I see.
Let's dig into this deeper. Let's dig into this deeper. You start doing some research.
Yeah.
The warehouse is owned by King.
Yeah, it can. I mean, there is a theory that it's funny, interesting that Microsoft doesn't have these supply issues and PlayStation still ongoing. Do you have any comment on that?
Our stuff is in actual stores. Your stuff is in storage.
Yo, he messy. Addict. So yeah, the financials there. You saw about Microsoft's financials, but we want to be fair. They also had a 6%.
No, we ain't being fair.
We are being fair. A 6% decrease year over year in Xbox revenue. Also, Xbox hardware was down by 11%. They said the decrease was partially offset by an increase in Xbox Game Pass. And during that quarter, during the investors' call, they said that the company attributed this estimate to declines in first-party content, but noted that it would be offset by continued growth with Game Pass subscribers and console sales. So Xbox content and service revenue is also expected to decline in the low to mid single digits. All that being said, then they said, pretty much not that they said, it still was Xbox's best fiscal year in the history of Xbox. So I thought that was interesting. Like, what's your thoughts? I know you don't really care all that much about the financials like normal, but just in general about Xbox. What your thoughts are?
That's cute. Where are these games?
I feel that.
They can sell 1 or 1,000, man. I want to see one video on Fable. I don't want to see 1,000 videos on where or not Xbox is selling. Here, look, at the end of the day, it's good. If you look at it from the perspective of where they came from, where they are is enormous. We went from, Microsoft arguably coming off one of the biggest L's in gaming, one of them, off of the Xbox One generation, selling 2 to 3 times less than, where PlayStation was. Like, if you were to ask me in 2017, 2016 that they would be neck and neck with them in North America again, I'll be like, ain't no way. Ain't no way. But, these generations are new starts. They're not old starts that, people always tell me, people always tell me stuff like, oh, but it's the brand, Dad. It's the brand. Yeah, people who say that don't remember the Wii U coming out and then the Switch destroying both the competition. People don't remember the Wii coming out. That's kind of crazy, actually. Nintendo won 2 generations in a few generations. Like, look, sometimes Microsoft dropped the ball with the Xbox One, and I honestly feel like they're like, look, we're going to do what we can to keep up. We're going to reinvest into the franchises that we already have, and we're going to branch out and make new studios for what we don't have. And this generation is literally just going to be a generation where we rebuild. We rebuild the whole generation because this generation's an L to a lot of points. And it's like, but we got to make sure by the end of this generation, we are at a good spot for next generation. Because people sit here, they look at these things, they look at look, we might talk.
Shout out to Slow Mo doing the Lord's work on this spamming. Continue.
Yeah, we might talk a lot.
Yeah, they tearing us up.
We might talk a lot about where these games are in 2022, but at the end of the day, what is 1 year compared to a company that's doing 10 to 15 year intervals of planning? Look, they had a bad 2022. You're going to play a lot of third-party stuff on the Xbox brand, a little bit of first-party stuff, but it's just look, these studios don't dedicate what they're doing for next year. They have 5 to 10 year roadmaps. It's not here, it's not now, it's not tomorrow, it's not next week. It's what are we going to be doing in 5 years from now? Because when you don't, you end up like a Blockbuster. You end up like these other companies that Toys R Us that's went out of business. It's like at the end of the day, it's about what can we do to push. Right now, we might be in the greatest position, but what can we do to make us better in 5 to 10 years? And that's what they did the whole Xbox One generation. Now you're seeing the fruits of their labor. You're seeing Game Pass single-handed. People are saying, oh, look, Xbox has done this well, considering where they came from, the Xbox One generation, and it's not even with a whole lot of first-party titles at the moment. Yeah. Imagine when those games start dropping.
It's the interesting part, right? Like the fact that technically the quarter, I mean, it did count a little bit towards the end of last year, but let's be honest, right? The top of this year was really not good for first party at all, and them to have their best fiscal year. I mean, obviously hardware stuff is down. We're not going to minimize that, but for them to be having record profit and stuff like that is interesting. You know, so I thought that was interesting. I hear what you're saying in reference to the actual first party output not being technically what it should be to see any positive growth. But continue, Attic. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just like you look at it from that, like, you know, it's been an okay year for Xbox. Like, you know, I wish we would have had a little more output on the Xbox One, but they're still selling very well. And that's without these games. And keep in mind, these games will come eventually. Look, people act like the pandemic didn't happen. You know, I saw the UFC fight last night, and I was like, man, if you look at this video, you wouldn't even think we in a pandemic. It's just like, you know, people want to act like that doesn't exist, but guess what? It does exist. And regardless how you feel about it, you know, people have been jumping through so many hoops to make games. And, you know, there was an adjustment period. I think people are getting it down a little bit more, and hopefully we'll start seeing some of these games here in the next year to two. And Saul's putting in the chat, Toys R Us is coming back. Not right now, Saul. Not right now.
it'll be back by December. That's what I heard anyway.
So Saul, also before I set you up, we did hear about the other half. We got to talk about the but you didn't mention the Sony financials. As per the Wall Street Journal, Sony overall profit in its gaming segment fell 37%. Sony sold here we go. Sony sold 47 million PlayStation games during the quarter, which was 26% lower than a year ago. It sold 2.4 million PlayStation 5 consoles, a bit higher than what it sold.
Wait a second. Free R. Kelly, are you still here?
Where you at, R. Kelly? Now remember, R. Kelly, you
still here? I gotta hear this topic again. I'm sorry, I was a little bit distracted. I was texting people.
So here,
Free R. Kelly. I want you to turn up the volume on your jail speaker. Turn it up because you got the one monotone speaker. Turn it up.
Don't do him like that. Don't do him like that.
I'm gonna go a little bit further, man. People in the chat put hashtag where you at, Kelly.
Oh my
God.
Put some hashtag where you at, Kelly. Yeah, Kelly.
Stepping in the name of love. Stepping in the name of love.
Stepping in the name of love. Let's step up.
Let's do this, man.
All right. So as I was saying, so the king clearly wants me to repeat this.
Sorry, I didn't hear. Sorry.
Sony operating profit in its game segment fell 37%.
37.
Yeah. Yo, kick off that hat, my guy. You doing too much. Sony also 47.1 million PlayStation games in the quarter, which was 26% lower than a year earlier. It sold 26% lower. Yes, sir. It sold 2.4 million PlayStation 5 consoles, a bit higher than what it sold during the same period last year. Sony expects to sell more as the supply chain issues linger. Subscribers
they sold more than last year, but it still wasn't enough. Okay.
Yeah. Subscribers to PlayStation Plus service also fell slightly from the quarter before to 47.3%. So
it fell down again.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And they just got their servers up and running, but it fell back again. All right, let's get it.
No, I mean, so that's pretty much that on the Sony side. So Solve, as it is your turn to talk. Yeah, like what do you feel about now we hear both sides, Microsoft, Sony, you know, what's your thought process on any of these numbers?
I mean, the reality is that when you really look at all these numbers on both sides were amplified during the pandemic, right? When people were really at home and they really weren't going anywhere and there was no commerce going on out in the streets, there was commerce going on, you know, online, and you know, you're home, you're ordering stuff, whatever the case may be.
Think about them two dudes when you said that. Sorry, that was funny.
Yeah, they're disgusting. It's
Commerce
like
going on.
Like,
stick up.
Commerce.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that all these numbers were super amplified when it comes to, even Game Pass numbers, the engagement numbers on both ends of it. People were home.
Facts.
People that don't normally play games on both sides were all of a sudden now playing games. And now we're in a spot in the world where things are opening up more. People are traveling more. People aren't in front of their TVs as much. The people that weren't.
UFC event was looking full, like it wasn't no.
Oh, the UFC events for a while have looked like they've been like crazy. So the reality is that overall, things are opening up more. People who weren't hardcore gamers sitting in front of their TV anyway are now going out and not gaming as much. So those numbers are going to diminish. Now, you couple all of that stuff on both ends with the fact that we're heading towards a recession. We still have issues with supply chain. We have, obviously the war in Ukraine causing disruptions economically throughout the entire world. There's ripple effects. When you look at inflation, everything that you earn now is worth less than it used to be. It isn't worthless, but it's worth less.
Speaking of which, there is, I don't know if you caught this point, so great points. In reference to the Sony's early call where they were asking PlayStation about a potential price raise.
Oh, and there was no answer.
There was no answer. Now, it's interesting. The only reason I bring it up is I have to be honest. I try to keep my personal business out.
Yeah, Cog.
Yeah, even though I try to keep...
What's going on, Cog?
Even though I keep my personal business out as far as where I am working.
Speak for him, Cog.
This statement does not reflect. I am just repeating what the news is. Obviously, Meta and the Oculus Quest 2 raised their price just recently. A very, touch point, a very controversial subject, right? And the thought process is, obviously we see the reaction, and the thought process is, because of inflation, right? Will other hardware manufacturers have to do that? So it was interesting to me that Sony was asked, hey, would you?
You know what's you know what's scary about that? The fact that if there's
hold on, Jack can't be like, Carl, how you let stop that real ski. Don't y'all be doing that, Carl. How you let that happen? Continue. I have nothing to do with that. Continue. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
The price of the brick went up. The price of the brick went up.
The price of the brick went up clearly.
I think the scary part about this is that when you look at, if there's anybody who could take an L on price because it's the right thing to do in optics, you would think it's Meta, right? So if the unwillingness to do that is there, what does a Sony do? And that's the thing, that's one of those things, to me, in my mind, right? If Microsoft looks at this situation and looking at the moments that they've stepped on a rake in the past, right? It feels like they would look at this and be like, nah, we cannot do this no matter what. We have to take whatever L we're taking on this hardware. We're going to continue to take this L. The fact that Sony would not answer that is scary in this situation, because you can't find the machine anyway. You have a competitor, right? You got them all in your warehouse. The fact of the matter is that you have... No, it's in a warehouse.
A warehouse. I just happen to have footage. I just got footage.
And the fact that the reality of it is that the console can't be found out there, bro. Right. So you don't want to do anything, and you have a real competitor now, right? Which wasn't the case during the Xbox One generation.
Good point.
You don't want to do the thing that in terms of optics is the worst thing you could possibly do.
Right.
And the fact that they wouldn't directly answer that question is worrisome, because it's like, okay, it means the situation out here is real. This is not speculation, right? And that is a real possibility that I think, to me, you couple that with all the things that we've had in terms of chip shortages and the fact that they haven't been able to sell as many consoles as you want. And when you think about the fact that we're already 3 years into this console generation, the things that have happened at the front part of this generation, to me, are really going to hinder what the end product is. And at the end of it, a lot of the stuff that's been happening can create a net negative at the end of the generation that you can't escape out from under, no matter what happens, whether it was in your control or not. I just think overall, all of these things, a strong competition, the lack of being able to put consoles out there, different SKUs on the Xbox side that really appeal to different types of gamers, and the availability of it, and it being a great thing, because availability doesn't matter if people don't care.
Right.
People care. That's the thing. So to me, it really is, when you start looking at this stuff, people are like, oh, it's not a big deal. They're still making profits. Yes. But the fact of the matter is that there's been enough things hindering them from where they want to be that it may not matter at the end of the generation. They're not going to be where they want it to be, period.
Let me ask you this.
I got to ask Cog a question after this.
All right, but can we ask Solve a question before you ask me? All right, because Solve is touching on some things that's interesting. And again, just to look at the numbers, obviously we're seeing some decline on both sides. But what you said was interesting when we talk about the Sony side. We forgot to mention, it said the monthly active users totaled 102 million, down from 105. And it said it appears to be Sony's lowest monthly active users since it began reporting data, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but the key, this part was interesting. It said the gaming and network service division recorded Q1 sales of 4.55 billion, down 11%. But it said the decline was attributed to a decrease in sales of first and third-party titles, as well as the full. This was the problem. As well as the full DLC sales for third-party. So this is the question I have for you, Solve. Like, because technically, didn't they have more of an output during that period?
Did.
Am I wrong? Like they had an output.
But this is, but it goes back. It goes back to the narrative that I've always had. The first party titles mostly appeal more to the hardcore, and the hardcore have purchased those games, right? So when it comes, you're gonna have. There's a plateau you reach with those first party games, right? It's one of those things that I've always said, all right, there are 150 million PlayStations out there, whatever, PS4s. Why aren't there more sales? And, I'm not sneezing at 20 plus million sales of Spider-Man. But when you think about the amount of consoles out there and you look at a property like a Spider-Man, right, where it's just this huge property, why aren't there more sales? And it's because there's just a plateauing of where the interest stops for certain things. There's so many people who just buy a PlayStation to play Fortnite, to play
or to just have Netflix in their bedroom.
Netflix, exactly. God. No, it happens, but it's the truth.
He talking about Justin earlier. He being messy. Continue.
Or as a Blu-ray player, right? Or whatever the case may be. Sure. So it's, to me, it's just one of those things. And then on the third party side, the same thing. You don't have people just purchasing games that much. And then again, when you're looking at these numbers, you have people that are already speculating and awaiting your Game Pass competitor, right? So they know a lot of these games are going to be kind of enveloped in this service. People are savvy about their money. They're going to stop and think, like, hey, you know what? Let me stop buying games because they'll probably be in this service. They start having that.
So you said there's no longer a willingness for the $70 bus off situation?
Yeah, and then the $70 $70 bother a lot of people too. So it may not bother the hardcore for the most part, but when you go in and be like, this game is costing me $70, it's people have a choice to make. So to me, when you think about those things happening, the impending sort of kind of transformation of the PlayStation ecosystem a little bit, and you have this PS Plus thing going on now, whatever. I just think all of that coupled together means that the transition to how you used to make money is beginning to happen. And the fact of the matter is, all the criticisms you have of Microsoft of like, nobody buys games on Xbox anymore. Everybody's in Game Pass, and the numbers are a little more murky.
Right.
That's going to start being the case on the PlayStation side as more and more people
see it right now.
Yeah. So, and that's going to be an increasing thing because again, on the PlayStation side, you may not see those first party games there super quick, right? But you already see the third and second party things going on. You got Stray day one in there. You're going to start seeing more of that stuff. You're going to start seeing their games as a service. To me, absolutely have to be there day one. Right. So more and more, you're going to have people.
One last question.
You're going to have people that aren't buying.
Before I lose it.
Sorry. Yeah, you had a question for me. You're right.
How much did they raise the price of the Oculus?
$100.
Fuck.
What?
$100. Where have you been? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And that's all I'm saying on it. And I
No. I'm just not to hell. Okay. So just to get off $100.
Yep.
That was the difference between the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4.
And
we all know if they raise that PlayStation 5 $100, it's over. You just might as well sign, seal the. It's a casket. Just put the casket on your shoulder.
Back into you need a second job territory, right? It goes back to
hold on. Is there rumors that might happen, or
it
is that
was
speculation?
asked? Guys off.
It was asked. It was a question that was asked, and PlayStation didn't have a comment on it. It kind of the way that it was structured. It makes it seem like
stop with that hashtag LordCognito. I see you. Stop that.
The reason why
slow-mo.
They asked Sony because they know these dudes is down for whatever. Like they look at the other dudes and they're like, they just raised it $100. They were successful.
It's $100, and it is how many? Is it 2 years removed from its launch? Just about.
Yeah. And let's raise instead of lowering the price. Let's raise the price and take out some of the heat sinks. Let's go.
So yeah, it's a scary thing. I just honestly, when you look at the whole picture and you look at realistically how long these console generations last, I think the stuff that has happened up front has left PlayStation in a position where they're not position-wise, they're not as strong as Xbox, because Xbox was, again, they had the subscription ready to go. They had all this stuff ready to go. And PlayStation was sort of playing catch up in that regard. So regardless to what, I see PlayStation in a weaker position by the end of this console generation than they were coming in, just because of all the things that have happened. And again, being a little late to the party doesn't help either.
Quad got a question for Saul before I go. In fairness, we're painting. It's a lot of painting of Sony doom and gloom right now. But, Xbox hardware was down, saying they saw a 6% decrease in revenue. So, what say you, Solve, when you hear these numbers? And then let's be honest, they didn't give the Game Pass numbers what they are, but they did say they expect that's King's unofficial count.
I've been right so far, man. I've been right so far.
Well, all I was saying is, what do you say when they say they still expect a decline, but they expect it to be offset by Game Pass numbers? As if, so do you think that's bullish of them to say something like that? Like, where are you at with that?
I mean, I think when they already started talking about, when you look at the hardware stuff, the hardware overall means less to Xbox than it does to PlayStation. PlayStation, the crux of their business is still hardware sales based. The way they quantify success is still sort of talking about hardware sales and things of that nature, whereas Microsoft has shifted from that. So that on the Xbox side, it's about Game Pass. And, with the Samsung deal, we're getting closer to when they're going to talk about whatever that dongle is or whatever the case may be. When I talk about the Samsung deal, I mean the integration into the new 2022 TVs, this sort of stuff, and now getting it to a point where, again, more and more people have access to it on their phones, fixing the issue on the iOS side where you can, there's a workaround for that. There, people can engage with Game Pass in realistically doable ways now, in ways you can't do on the PlayStation side. So ultimately, when they talk about hardware sales, they're happy that the numbers are moving, but overall, you're not going to have as many people purchasing the hardware. Even in Japan, when we talk about, the Series S being a more attractive console in Japan, the fact of the matter is they've even moved away from that, where it's like, it's the Switch, maybe, but the majority is people on their phones, right? So it is that thing where, to me, they're just better positioned to expand their ecosystem without the need for the hardware sales to be there. And then when it goes back to, they're still making profit, but they're making less, it goes back to the inflation thing, where it's like, whatever you're selling is worth less than it used to be. And you may be selling as much or more, but the money you're bringing in, operating costs and whatnot, the actual profit you're making is just less because the money's worth less. So that's it. Both things apply. The fact of the matter is that Microsoft, whether it's dumb luck or whatever the case may be, I don't think it is, but they were more prepared for this type of scenario than PlayStation
they like
has
to pass
been.
the savings on to the consumer. Sony likes to pass on.
So if this price hike thing, becomes a real thing in the console space, it's gonna be interesting, because I look at that and I'm like, I don't care what kind of L I need to take. If I'm on the PlayStation side, I don't care what kind of L I need to take. I cannot bring the price of this console up and also have people not be able to find it. That is ridiculous.
Right, it's a combination. Yeah, that's a double whammy. I'll jump in real quick. Fantastic point, Sav. I hear where you're going. Look, I think it's a mixed bag, honestly, for both sides, and in the sense that I understand King's popping off with the North America joint. You know what I'm saying? I get it. And to his credit, and Addict's credit, we were told that when the generation would start with the zero. I can't wait.
We got 0 wins in mi casa.
But I will say, look, in y'all credit, based on the dominant generation Sony had before, with the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, this is impressive. This is impressive from the North American standpoint, right? That they have won it. You can see Sacha's outside. He's got a chest out with this one. I thought was very interesting. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's a mixed bag for both sides because I think the pandemic stimulus is over. I think when the pandemic happened initially, right? Everybody was forced to be inside. You had people who were non-gamers like, yo, what do? We can't really go out. And then gaming really benefited.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, they benefited for that. And now let's be real. Not that
they had record profits, and they act like you're not going to keep
that momentum.
After you got to keep in mind, we had a surge during the pandemic.
Yes.
And that's because these people didn't have anything else to do.
Right. So
that's why you had PS4s getting outsold, Xbox One S's and X's getting outsold, Switches was sold out.
I blame them stimulus checks.
The numbers is crazy. People were staying home.
The numbers is down.
People was chilling. You know what I'm saying? So
people was like, food? Nah, I'm buying an Xbox.
Yeah, you was chilling. You know what I'm saying? So you got these, these console manufacturers, and you got the services up record numbers. And I think it's kind of what Attica said, which is like, yo, now that even though the pandemic's not officially over, people are outside. People are in the presence of quote unquote trying to normalize.
I ain't buying no PlayStation.
Hardware's still a little down for Xbox too, sir. But
yeah.
but to your credit,
it's still better than last year.
And it's more than enough. Yes, I get it. I get it, kid.
PlayStation is down and it's worse than last year. So last time I checked, these dudes thought they was gonna be at 30 million because we should be hitting 30 million right now. We're at 21.7. Yeah, bro. Ain't nobody copping. And all this flip-flopping, these dudes go to StockX, get those PlayStations out those dudes' hands. You want it. Listen, because Sony already see that y'all willing to pay the extra, so they're gonna put the tax on top of that. So go right now. This is what Jim
so you want the same energy for the people that want $70 games to a $600 console if they raise the price?
It don't matter, right? There you go. No game packing, $600. You got them bucks. You outside. So go pay the $600. You can afford it. Is what y'all looking for. It's worth it, right? The console's worth. The SSD is worth $600 alone. But I'm saying this to say this, right? You guys has been capping. You guys have been all over the place. The numbers in the metrics show you don't buy no game. Right? The
first party is down. First party.
Your first parties is in the bush. You're not purchasing no game. You're not purchasing no games. You're not purchasing no consoles. You're not even in these services. The service, everything is down with y'all. What's up? This is your up year, right? This is the year where y'all got all of, what was that, first party games? 2 first party games this year, and you just launched a service. Why the hell do I gotta look over and notice that y'all haven't won anything from Microsoft in those 3 months? It has been this. And in those 3 months, y'all have launched first party all over the place. It's outside first party games, first party service. This should be a banner year for y'all. And we out doing you. Shout out to Phil Dominus, Maximus, Aurelius Spencer. The plan is working.
So you are implying the hashtag no games doesn't matter because the financials still say.
Yo, you know what? You know why it don't matter? You know what Phil and them looked over? They saw the metrics too. They saw you drop your games. It's like, yeah, we gonna do Starfield this year? We don't got to. Look at them. Look at them. Look at them flopping around over there.
Oh my God.
Buying they stuff. Yo, put it next year. We could just bang them in the head next year. Yo, Y'all are not a threat no more. It is financially is being seen. I told you dudes a long time ago the worm has turned. It's over. And I know you guys gonna be like, oh King, you know, you're an Xbox dude. Damn right.
Thank you for clarifying that. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying what team you play for.
King is the Xbox team.
And I told you what's happening, and you guys is like, no, King, it's never gonna happen. We never buckle up.
Shout out to King. Clearly, he had to get his bars off. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Just wanted to mention the pandemic aspect on both sides. I thought that, it definitely, I felt that little bump. Now it's cooling off. We're getting some normal, those record-breaking numbers are definitely not in place. And I will say, I thought it was interesting that Xbox said they expect it to be offset by Game Pass number. I would love to know what the Game Pass numbers are. Just
35 million.
That's King's Game Pass numbers. But I just want to know what those are. I want them to be
right so far.
I want to be transparent with that. And let's see. We'll see what happens next year. But I thought, both interesting, both mixed bag for me, but that's where I'm at. Anyway, moving on. We got some super chats before we get to the next topic.
Yeah, we got a bunch of super chats. Hold on, let me roll back a little bit. We still getting Black Panther.
While he's rolling back, let's go right back to the situation.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Let's not do that.
Any way to speed up the process.
You've got your bars off, sir.
We got not Jack, $5 super chat. What about Tom Cruise as the last Black Panther?
Yo, that's hilarious.
We got a few super chats because I hit them.
We got a few. Right, we got a few. Then we got Slow-Mo Backslap, $2 super chat. I'm dressing up in store for Halloween. No doubt. Do your thing, brother. Do your thing. Then we got Spartan Go 17, £2 super chat. Yo, the two dudes posing like they repping their block. Yeah, there's really some real Saints Row energy going on there.
Sony Cedar block.
Then we got Mandingo McDickens, $5 super chat. Enlarge that warehouse pick for all the Sony frauds that say there's a chip shortage. Is that Phil Spencer and King in that pick? Stupid. Then we got Chaos Actual, $5 super chat. Didn't PlayStation also not rule out raising the price of the PS5 when asked by an investor? Sony like inflation. Who that? Who that? Yeah, they did not answer that question. Then we got Mandingo McDickens again, $5 super chat. When I saw that warehouse pick of Phil and King, all I could hear playing in the background is that Tupac song, Ain't Nothing But a Gangster Party.
Messy.
Pull up.
Messy.
Pull up on me.
Then we got Spartan Go 17, £2 super chat. No, he's laughing at the no commerce in the streets. Pause, sir. There's always that commerce in the street. That's for sure.
Yeah, sure.
Then we got Black Addict, $2 super chat. This is for you, Addict. This is for you. ¿Puede Saab realmente leer el español? Yes. Saab realmente puede leer el español.
What is that?
Saab really reads Spanish.
Don't come for my boy unless he sent for you.
Exactly.
Keep him coming. Keep him coming. Then we got Raiden Blade, £5 super chat. No, pause. It fell back to 47%. Like it's been stoked for 4 years. They merged PS Plus and PS Now only to drop back to 47%. Oh, and that price check will be echo chamber. Okay,
yeah,
there's a lot of thoughts in there. Then we got Jeesh, $2 super chat. Does the meta price increase help PSVR 2? I think it.
Oh man.
I mean, it allows them. I don't know.
I mean,
PSVR 2
going up's gonna help them anyway,
is always going to help them. But I'm going to tell you this: that PSVR 2, even though the guts are really the PlayStation 5 working, I still see that headset being no less than $500.
Yo, I'm looking at 600 now, man.
Could be.
Looking at 6. They got to raise. They got to throw that 100 on that back, Jack.
Next topic, please.
Then we got Tai Casares, $3 super chat. Power level over 9,000. Black Panther. Wow. We got Raiden Blade, £5 super chat. Xbox drops the prices on consoles, and Sony won't. Last PS console, if they ever increase price, I really see Xbox dropping price. No one PS fan plays PS games.
It's true.
Ty Casares again, $3 super chat. PlayStation fanboy, power move, PlayStation better.
Salute.
That sounds like an argument that somebody would make.
It's a better console for $600.
Then we got Chaos Actual, $2 super chat. $70 is a tank of gas now. Word.
Boy, that is my gas.
Word.
That's real.
Yeah. And we got Carlos Alvarado, $2 super chat. Monthly active users down, PS Plus subs down 0.01 million. Down. We got Tony Bryant, $5 super chat. That Series S price cut this holiday is going to be wild. If they do that, oh man.
I'll tell you what, Little Man is ever $200.
Once Little Man hits that royal price of bang 'em out Smurf,
if Little Man is ever that, that's a problem. Yeah.
Problem. And we got Lady Saiyan, $5 super chat. Microsoft / Xbox had a strategy that prepared them for a recession. That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Oh, I love the latest super chat. It's perfect. But when you get to it, I love the latest one.
Spartan Go 17, £2 super chat. That Game Pass stimulus package effect is real. Okay, so Spartan Ghost was the last one that I got. Okay. Hold on a second. Let me roll back a little bit.
So while he looking for that, we're gonna go right back.
We got a member chat from Forza Legends. Been a member for 32 months.
Wow.
PlayStation is dead. Laugh my off. I don't want to hear any crazy talk about Xbox again.
Right.
Yes, fanboys. Oh yeah, shout out to that SSD.
Stupid.
Super messy.
I'm back on. I'm ready.
Yes.
Oh, they got baby Farba, $2 super chat. They're too busy playing Twitter to play games.
Twitter free. That PlayStation stuff costs a fee.
Then we got the homie Nam Omar, member for 12 months. Thank you, sir.
Salute.
Save a puppy. Hit the like button.
Yes,
hit that like button.
Say it for the kids. For the kids.
For the kids.
For the chilling.
Then we got Spartan Go 17, £5 super chat. Jim Ryan listening to YouTube motivational speech after falling off for 3 quarters. Free R. Kelly and Jason Schreier still crying over. Oh my God.
Very good. Be nice. Continue.
Friend of the show, Jason Schreier. Thank you.
Salute, Jason.
Then we got Forza Legend member for 32 months. Oh, you read this one. Okay, yeah, that's the one he read. Okay, that's the one he read. Then we got Yay Baby Farba. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Farba. Yeah,
baby Farba. He's ya baby Farba. Yo. He's ya baby
Farba.
Yo.
Twitter be like, welcome to another episode of King's Iron Lords podcast featuring a few other guys.
Thank you for saying that. Salute.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
It's hilarious, but it's so
that's
true.
How they be treating it. Be like,
yeah. Don't do that.
That's a king say.
Is these guys' opinion?
There we got Raiden Blade, £2 super chat. Chris, why your fans not buying first party PS games? Shout out to Christopher Hart.
Shout out to Christopher Hart. Why he coming for Chris?
Christopher Hart, dude. He the only one. He the 10%.
Then we got Jean-Marc Louis, $2 super chat. How long can PlayStation keep Sony's lights on? Wow, it's really doom and gloom out in the streets.
Really got to do with doom.
They about to shut that door though.
Then we got.
Go ahead, Eddie. The situation. What was it? The Crystal Dynamics and sitting there the shirts on.
Funny. That joke was funny.
Then we got Splendiferous, $2 super chat. SSD got King thinking about creeping to the other side. Wow.
Okay.
We got $1 super chat from CW. I'm gonna put in words for him.
You're gonna just add words to CW.
Yeah. What CW meant to say was PlayStation shutting down tomorrow.
Oh Lord, here we go. Contributing.
We are caught up.
No PlayStation 6.
All right, we are caught up. Addict Nicio on the topic, man. Forge, what's going on with Halo Infinite?
So we actually have some positive news about Halo. You know, obviously we still don't have any content yet. Hopefully we'll get that soon.
I need that.
We did get a lot of people leaking what Forge looks like, and I gotta tell you guys, what they're doing with Forge is crazy. They're making like Doom levels out of Forge.
Somebody built PT in Forge already.
Yeah, so that's crazy.
Well, see, what they have is they have a script writer in it where you can actually make items do what the script says. So you can make like a pistol have rocket shots instead of just regular ammo. Like it's crazy what they're doing. Sniper shots has skill shots, the things they shoot the vehicles and stuff with. Like, look, I'm not going to jump out of anything yet. But what I will say is modes like this is what gave Halo 3 the longevity
Yes,
it had.
absolutely.
I wish we would have saw this with co-op all together at launch, because I felt like people would be playing that game right now. Now it's like this. It's like, look, the launch of the game has like a ceiling like this. And then the longer it goes, the shorter that ceiling gets. Now, it can still be mad successful, but the longer time goes, the less success it can get at the long run.
No, I feel you. It's interesting. I saw a lot of the stuff going out there. So I don't know if you got a chance to see any of the leaks or what's going on with it.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think I just hit it right on the nose with that one. It's like, it's one of those things where I was the dude that was like, listen, the game, the part that I care about is there. That's why.
Thank you for being honest about you.
But, you know, looking at this and looking at, again, who would have, with them releasing the game, right? And with the multiplayer coming out early and everybody loving it and whatnot, the furthest thing from my mind was the content isn't ready. Even though we speculated and talked about it when it came out and it was fire and everybody was loving it, I'm like, oh, they're ready. They're shooting on all, they're kind of shooting on all cylinders and everything's ready to go. Okay, fine. Co-op isn't there, Forge isn't ready, but that'll be fine because the game is there, it's tight. I just didn't know that they didn't have a content pipeline, or they wouldn't be able to hit whatever whatever the cadence of the content pipeline that they had in place. So seeing this now, it's tough, man, because it's one of those things that's like, this complete package looks like everything is quality, right? For all, by all accounts, the co-op works great. You know, the Forge stuff that's coming out of it, this is the most powerful Forge creator they've ever built. And like, to Addict's point, that community has always kept that alive, because in Forge, if there was nothing coming out of Bungie themselves or 343 themselves, it is that thing where the community takes over. You have these amazing creators that make stuff that you have an endless amount of new stuff to play. So seeing it now in hindsight, and it's always 2020, right? Hindsight's always 2020. This would have been a big boon for this game at launch. It really would have. But again, I do think that if the quality is there and they're able to get their cadence up with the rest of the game to appease the people that came to Halo for the first time and expected this service game the way they expect, the cadence of releases for other service games, if it's able to hit that and all of these other things are hitting the Forge, the co-op, I think it could come back. Maybe not in the way that it should have been if it was this strong from the launch, but I think people are always willing to come back to games like this. It's just a matter of, you can't have 343 coming out here talking about like the speculation about the roller game from Ubisoft, where girl was like, after season 3 is dead. You say that, and that turns out to be real. That game is dead already. It's dead already the moment those words come out of your mouth. So as long as 343 is in it for the long haul and willing to continue to improve upon this game and make it where people want it to be, and I think they will, because it's Halo. They're not going to let Halo die. I think the future's positive for this. I don't think it's as big as it could have been if everything was there at the launch, but I think if all of this stuff works out, people will be playing.
Soft, what are you smoking? It's over for. He's on the soft. He coming at you hard.
Flame, like, let's leave the hyperbole behind. Maybe you stop playing. There's still plenty of people that play Halo. Like, stop.
Wow.
Come on.
I feel you. Shout out to say, I know. Said I got to get that call pop with you. King, Forge leaks. Did you get a chance to see where you at? How you feel?
Don't care nothing about Forge.
And to be fair, I don't care nothing about it either.
I don't buy games to build stuff. If that was the case, that I would be playing Minecraft until my eyeballs pop.
It's not necessarily about you building stuff. It's about you playing other people's stuff.
I don't care about playing other people's Ouija boards. I don't care about it. I don't care. But so when dudes be like, "Yo, I built a board over here. I'm gonna send it to you. Come over and try it out." No. No, I'm that dude. Like, so I don't care. I don't care at all. Like, literally. So when they was launching the game and they was like, we don't have Forge, I was like, wasn't me anyway. Because if they had to install this pack and install that pack, I don't install it. I don't care. A lot of times I don't install multiplayers to games because I'm not gonna play it. Again, for a large contingent, this is what they're looking for. And to hear that they going the full 100% mile for this game, in that aspect. Good. I'm glad it took its time, because could you imagine if they did put it out earlier and it wasn't as robust as it sounds now?
Yeah.
So I think that they know that they have to come correct. And I don't agree with Flame. I don't agree that the game is dead. I agree that Microsoft put Infinite behind it because they're going to infinitely keep funneling into this game. They're going to make this game exactly what they ideal it to be. Like the Master Chief Collection, it's shipped out broken, and they stood with it until they fixed it. So until this game actually starts to hit the metrics that they want it to hit, and they're going to give you everything, and at some point in time, this package is going to be the package that they wanted to release. And whenever it hits, it could hit in 2024, to be honest with you. All the stuff that they wanted to get in there for the launch itself. The pandemic had a real effect, especially on this game, when changing the game over to a game of service type of thing. It doesn't matter. I think that Game Pass is their metric. I think Game Pass allows that new person that stepped into Game Pass to experience Halo for the first time, how they want it to be. So if that person comes in when the game is completely done, they don't see the bad that you saw. All they see is all this good stuff. So I think the games of the service changes the ceiling on it. I think the ceiling is absolutely removed. I think those people, if it starts popping, and I've seen this, if it becomes something that's popular, and it only takes one or two Twitch guys, these guys out here to gravitate back to it, and changes the whole rhetoric around it.
That's live service in general.
If one of those dudes say, "Oh my God, this Forge is so amazing," one of these high streamers.
Yeah, it goes. That's what happened with Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves had that moment too. Like,
so, and I was telling people, it was millions of people playing it and laughing at me. But it's gonna happen here, and it's gonna have that same renaissance, and it's gonna do it because they see that Sea of Thieves can do it. And remember, it didn't have a cracking body in the beginning, but it is what it. I mean, it was a huge joke, right? I was just drugged through the streets, but it's outperforming all their first party games that they put out all the time, right? So it's going to change. This game doesn't have a ceiling. We got to stop looking at it as the old metrics, and the new metrics is what's new today is new for the new people that just jumped in. They're looking for new engagement, not the same old people.
Right. Not for you. I mean, too much to add. I saw the mode. Look, it looks phenomenal. It looks impressive. I'm not gonna minimize it. It really looks good. Like it looked like, man, if this was available at the beginning, where would this thing have been, right? It's just like the same old questions, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just at the point with them right now where it's just like, I know they didn't leak this, so I'm not coming at them, right? Normally, I come at them. What it is, somebody leaked the business out on the insider preview, which is interesting that it's there. It looked phenomenal. All I'm saying is I really don't want to hear anything until you have a release date. That's just where I'm at. I'm at the point where it's like you're the kid who's always late for the homework, and I'm gonna do better, and I come back at me at the marking period when you got your grades together and everything's finished, and then we could grade where you at. That's what. And I'm not blaming them. This is a leak, right? The leak looks impressive, but no one, in my opinion, will hear it until you say, "Hey, it's coming out." Blah blah blah. Yeah. Here it is. Blah blah blah, and just bring it back. Listen. Live service can come back. I've said it 1,000 times. This looks phenomenal. Let's get the co-op. Let's get the battle royale. Let's get the single player. Like, let's do that whole Taken King this thing. Put it all together. Say, Halo Infinite Reborn, Reforged, whatever you want to call it. Put that bad boy out in the streets and then holler at me. And for right now, I just don't want to hear about it until it's out. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. This thing looks amazing. I saw them put a Master Chief character full screen. They doing PT. They doing Doom. I don't want to hear. Just when is it out? When it's out, holler at me. Otherwise, I'm over here. I'm doing the rocker. I'm doing this until it come out. Then, because it's just one of those things. I think that live service, it's an ebb and flow. Right, and I'm always gonna be mad at them because they had the people at the palm of their hand, and like Saul said, when they was out everybody was talking. Hey, the king was back. We was in party chats. We was, we like, oh, the pipeline crazy. It's gonna be Mad Maps. It's gonna be this. And he's like, oh, that's it.
Here you go. That's it.
that's it. That's it. Okay, and that's it. That's all. Listen, if anybody, I want them to succeed. I'm always gonna be tough on things I love. I want them to succeed. Just don't talk until it's ready. That's all I'm at. And that's it. We'll see. That's what I got. Let's roll up. Let's do the I'll do the poll, and then you plug up the super chats.
Yep, perfect.
I no doubt.
Oh, I can't. I don't go back in. Okay.
Oh, my bad. I didn't know you wanted to go back in.
No. I was just being jokeful. While he getting his super chats together.
You want to go back in on the finances?
So like I
was saying. So let's get back to the numbers.
Let's go back to the numbers. Since these number dudes want to talk about numbers.
You want to get back with you.
Like we said last week, like I heard.com.
Yeah. But in his case, he had one of these. So it was legit sources.
What I wanted is, I wanted to go back to the only number that counts.
You're ridiculous with that North American stuff. Anyway,
but that's let me say this, right? Even during the Xbox One generation, a lot of times we always quantify things on a worldwide basis, right?
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, I live in the States. I want to see how it's doing in the States. And in the States, even during the Xbox One generation, the numbers were much closer than people ever acknowledge.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And now where did I read this? I think the difference in console sales in North America is in the region of like 500,000 consoles. That's it.
It's impressive. And this is the thing. Alex said it because I got to toot my own horn. I tell every generation is a clean slate.
Yeah.
It's a clean slate. It doesn't matter. The Nintendo Wii is a prime example. The Wii to the Wii U to the Switch.
Yeah.
We've seen this, like it literally did this.
Yeah, it was this.
Wii was the most dominant. Like you couldn't find that thing in the toy store. They're like, all right, yo, the Wii U. So if we were Wii U, they'd be like, yo, it's gonna continue. They're gonna continue to dominate. Wii U happened, it ain't pop like that. Then it's like, oh, Nintendo's over. It's a wrap. There's nothing they could do. Here comes Switch, right? You can never predict these things. So for the people who looked at the last generation and automatically counted Xbox out like this has nothing to do, there's no games. Hey, don't do that. Don't do that. Be nice. Shout out to Brap. Don't do that. I know y'all got y'all issues. I know Attic and King got y'all issues. But I'm trying to play neutral here. Shout out to Brap. But look, at the end of the day, at the Attic and him, I got to get y'all in the room and peace out. But look, at the end of the day, the thing is this: if you looked at the Xbox One,
There ain't no room. Ain't no room big enough for that.
Oh God! So at the end of the day, at the Xbox One, generation, if you looked at it, it was really bleak, right? It looked like they didn't even care about games. They ain't even got no studios, whatever.
So came the Messiah Phil.
Shout out to the Dominus, you know what I'm saying? Did his thing. And
the Messiah.
I just find it interesting that
the water.
I find it interesting that the bubble of social media on Twitter, this little echo chamber, right? Who continues to say no games, live service and all this stuff is bad. And then when we seeing what's actually happening with the numbers and stuff like that, and then we seeing, in Xbox's case, right? That they're still kind of deficient in first party, but they're having any success. Like that to me is just like, wow. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's really mind-blowing to me. And then like we talked about on the flip side, where we as the hardcore, we value them first party bangers. We like, yo. And then you're like, damn, I'm trying
how much do we value them?
Right. Like, so then you looking at, and then we had Justin on, right? And everybody like, yo, live service is trash. This garbage and esports. And then you see where these things are trending, right? And you're like, yo, this is mind-blowing. That's what I try to say. It's generational. And then even the example Justin gave with kids and the mobile and this next generation of gamers, that's all they know.
Yo,
right?
I'll tell you this, yo, my nephew saw my Steam and my niece, they saw my Steam Deck yesterday, right? And he was like, is that a new Switch? I was like, no, it's not a new Switch. This is to play Steam games, PC games. And he's like, oh, kept it moving. kept
like
it moving.
Fact, like the console and the joint is the dinosaur. Like these kids is on these. It's so crazy just to chart this
So I
stuff.
try to tell people when it comes to that Steam stuff, it's like, look, like unless they got that Pokemon, that Fortnite, like a lot of these younger audiences, that the majority of these consoles are gonna go to, they don't care.
It's like we talking, like you just made a good point. We talk about Steam Deck, right? I know Solver's, Lord Steam Deck, right? Because it's the perfect console, the power, the customization, all this he could do. But you put the Steam Deck in Lil Joey here. Lil Joey, like, where the Pokemon at? Where's the Mario Kart or where's the whatever? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He might gravitate towards the Switch still. So it's just interesting that separation that we got to be careful as gamers on Twitter. Like, yo, just because we like, right? That don't mean that's where the industry going. And sometimes these numbers, or what King is saying, reflects that. Sometimes the hardcore, we overvalue things we like, and the industry shows different. So I thought that was interesting. But anyway, get this poll popping with the recent
no value in the stuff.
with the recent announcement of Black.
Time selling.
Oh my god!
Hard to get a ticket.
Yo, you don't do the fuck. That's the flex. Don't do the flex. With the recent
The warehouses have all of them.
Oh my god! Y'all had to put that picture of the warehouses. Y'all messed
The
up.
warehouse pick. That pick is classic.
Shout out to Brian East. He said he wants to see Pokemon. Show him Pokemon. Yeah, that's us forcing it as parents. The kids don't want to do it though. You got to go. The kids are picking up their phone, Brian East. I feel you. I'm hardcore with you. Steam Deck is fire. But the kids is like, yo, where I can play this at over here. You know what I'm saying?
The most popular games in history right now is Roblox.
It's Roblox. Does any hardcore game care about that? No, but it's more millions of them than it's us. So it is what it is. But anyway, look, new IP poll with the recent announcement of a Black Panther game in early development. How confident are you that EA is backing the title? A, not confident. EA has a lot to prove when it comes to a commitment to single-player focused games that are not microtransaction heavy. King is laughing. B, very confident. Jedi Fallen Order proved that a commitment to single-player quality and respect of license. What happened?
Nah, finish.
Oh God, with y'all.
Oh, no.
Just finish because all I'm gonna do is, all right, you're about to be taken. I want you to describe everything.
What is your phone up there for, Addict? What is your phone? Oh, you doing the same thing. Okay.
I want you to tell me everything you see and everything that you hear.
Give me your PlayStation King. Give me your PlayStation King.
Y'all messy.
And I just don't know what's going on.
Anyway, back to the poll. B, very confident. Jedi Fallen Order proved that a commitment to single-player game quality and respect of licensed IP can exist. Or C, I don't care. It's all good. They making a new Black Panther, but I'm keeping an eye out on that character. What's crazy is I came up with this poll before all this craziness came out. So that was kind of hilarious in the chat. Salute to everybody that's rocking out. You already know we doing the super chats. We doing outro for we do it first.
Let's do the super chats real quick. We got Rocker Corey, $5 super chat. This is what happens when your CEO doesn't even play games. PlayStation has no real strategy for the payers. Hashtag lying Tim Ryan.
Jesus.
We got Gamer by Choice member for 33 months. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. I have to say I'm very surprised Xbox is doing so well this generation after the Xbox One era. COG meta got you having to dodge questions, but I respect you having the combo based on your position. Salute.
Next super chat, please. Next super chat, please.
We got CW $2 super chat. Hashtag the only King podcast.
Yes. Yes.
Then we got Raiden Blade $5 super chat. Let's help Sony. Every time we see them PS dudes on Twitter, send them back to play games and not Twitter. If PlayStation was supposed to like Twitter, PlayStation would be up. Then we got Gabe Forte, member for 32 butts. Positive news in Halo. Wake me when Halo Infinite 2 releases. Jesus. Or at least more story content. I admire the effort, but where was this at launch?
Yeah.
Agreed. Raiden Blade member for 18 months. Love ILP. I saw 4 clips via Plume. It looks mad for Forge. But what I have seen, this is going to be, from what I have seen, this is going to be worth it. I want to create in Forge. Yeah. I mean, again, more power to you. I can't do none of that stuff, but it's awesome that they can build all that in there.
Yeah.
Raiden Blade again, £2 super chat. Gravity Ball mode was created in Forge, I believe. Yeah, there were certain modes that stuck that were actually just built in Forge to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got Necromancer Zale, $10 super chat.
It's called Griff
Ball.
Griff
Yes,
Ball.
Griff Ball.
I love Griff Ball.
Yeah, Griff Ball's fire.
It's like little stuff like that. Infection. Where is all that 343?
Mm-hmm.
Like, where
Imagine
is
if it was
all
launched and they could just continue.
well, see, no, they don't normally put that in at launch. Like all of Halo, it's usually been that's like a special event. But man, we damn near a year.
Yeah.
Where is Griff Ball? Like,
That's true.
Just
That's
give it a
true.
release date, and I'm there.
You got Necromancer Zale, $10 super chat. Cog, quit fence sitting. Tell us what we want to hear, not what we need to hear.
Next question,
God
please.
forbid you're honest.
They out here trying to get me right now. Sir.
Then we got Raiden Blade, $2 super chat. Chris, who's still playing Stray? Unlike Halo, so shh. I guess it's back and forth between Christopher Hart and Raiden
But they
Blade.
battling Stray versus. Oh man.
Then we got NC Ghost of Low Road.
Okay. MC Ghost. Okay.
$5 super chat. The PS5 being held hostage by little green cards. The book of the Book of Dominus. They bragged about sharing games because they can't afford to buy them. Obviously, wow.
This man preaching from the Book of Acts. Okay. Got the scripture.
Then we have Splendiferous. $2 super chat. Jim Ryan in Xbox basement playing Forza Hot Wheels.
Oh my God, Jesus. Messy.
All right, then we have Lord Metroid, $2 super chat. Switch plus Live Alive. We are gaming great here. Yeah,
Switch eating, baby. Switch
is
eating.
eating right now.
Speaking of that, it's that not that you meant that, Lord Metro. I'm gonna attempt something. I don't know if it's gonna work. All right, so I do have my live video. What's funny is
Live
it
Alive?
actually Live Alive. I don't know
Perfect.
why they named it like that. Like
Because
it
it's
is.
Japanese and weird, but
So-
it's
how this is gonna work is after the podcast, it's supposed to premiere. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. All right, never done it. What's funny is I put it for 4 o'clock. I didn't realize we'd go over 4 o'clock.
So
and
now
it
we're gonna see if it
played,
broke.
and I had to delete it and
And
re-upload it just so I could try this. Because like, look,
Yeah.
I don't expect the views to be crazy on this because it's a week late, but,
but
this
check
is
it
like
out.
an experimental review, and I think a lot of you would like the game.
So just
so,
for the
you know,
clarity, once the ILP stream ends, should go straight over there,
It
right?
should
It
go
should take
straight
them
over.
right there.
It should.
Okay. No doubt. So are we good?
yeah, we're good. Caught up.
No doubt. Oh wait, the other one.
Oh, one Splendiferous, $2 super chat, and he holding the controller upside down. No, Jim, no. Yeah.
Y'all messy.
We gaming over here
Who
like
had
this.
the PlayStation on the wrong side? I forgot where they had that. That was fun or something they was doing.
Oh,
Anyway.
yo, I got
funny
the
when-
exclusive. I got the new PlayStation 6.
I thought it didn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
The poly stations.
Anyway.
So you know what's funny? When I showed
plug it
the
in, and there you go.
when I showed
Wow.
the clock,
Yeah.
when I showed the stop clock that I was
Yeah.
doing with King at the beginning, it was reversed. So I had to go into the settings on Zoom and mirror my image,
And
so
mirror
it would
your
be
image
right
just so it can be
size.
right. That is hilarious. Anyways, we got that out the way. Shout out to the legendary Justin Jacobson, JMJ, attorney of
Yes, sir.
esports, educating us on the trends. The man came prepared, a wealth of knowledge, fun gamer. Look out for him more, man. He's a rising star in this industry. Check it out. And I appreciate those for actually listening. I know we have the educational things sometimes, and some people don't want to come in for the topics, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's not everything for everybody, but at least for the people who stayed and not rushing. Is it going to be over yet? Like, we appreciate that because we're going to do that from time to time. Sometimes you got to learn what's actually going on in the industry from the sources.
Especially if you play games.
If
and
you play
think you're
games.
nice, go
Yeah.
get that bag.
Go get that bag. You know what I'm saying?
The thing about I know sometimes a good portion of the viewership don't like the educational stuff, but we want to be a one-stop for a lot of things. And in order to do that, sometimes some of you ain't gonna like the content, and we always say, well, there's always next week's podcast. Encourage you to learn about the industry that you clearly care about because you in these chats.
Yeah. Or just say,
but,
you see the topics on the side, you just wait until your topic comes, and then, whatever. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, salute Lord Addict. Where can people find you? What you got going on, sir, before a stream that may or may not transition in?
it should be fine. I don't know. We'll see. Like I've tried to do it like 3 times in a row to streamers and it's not working. So I'm like, I'm gonna try it with our stuff. Let's see how it works with our stuff. I will be amping up our presence on stuff like TikTok and stuff. You know, we got to do a little bit better on that. It's just hard to balance everything.
It's a lot of
Like
social media.
it's just like, you know, I try my best to like throw little things out on Twitter, like every now and then, like, you know, what are you playing? Or, you know, try to get the feedback of the viewership to who you want on the podcast. But that's not easy to manage my Twitter, manage my job. You know, it's not good, man. It's not good. But all right, so like I said, there will be, if it doesn't come on after the show, just go over there and watch it. It'll be live at that time. You know, I appreciate everyone come through. We had up to like 650 people.
Yeah.
You know, you guys came through. We need Dirt back on ILP. Dirt is a member of Addict Show. So go watch that.
Shout out to One Bad Mother. Love the educational stuff. Getting a lot of insight that I haven't heard anywhere else from ILP. Thank you. That really means a lot to us, One Bad Mother. Salute. Really appreciate that.
You know, we will get more people on. You know, we did go on a couple months of It's Just Us thing. And we're going to still continue that mentality. But we will make sure we get unique guests that you guys can learn different aspects from. And obviously we'll bring back the classics. You know, I do want to do more collaborations with other podcasts.
Yes.
That's on the agenda, but we're booked up to like November. So it is what it is at that point. Want to thank King for taking the L on the podcast. You know, he's definitely going to, especially with this God of War thing.
Oh my God.
We're getting closer and closer.
So yeah, that's
that revenue stream down. all you looking at is the writing on the wall.
See, this is the thing people don't think about. God of War is going to sell well amongst the hardcore, and if they bundle it with a console and people can find that console for the holidays, it'll sell there. But it's not selling beyond a certain point. It doesn't appeal. Yeah,
and they gotta be able to bundle it and wrap it, and because they can't get their stuff up because they stock and they chip shortage, your boy's slipping the next year. You slipping with your boy.
Oh, you're still rocking with that. I forgot about that.
Yeah. I'm just watching you. You all hyped up all the way in. It ain't even August yet. You still hyped up. Calm down, youngin. I've seen this happen too many times. This is the part in the scary movie where you trip.
It's cool. I got 4 minutes for the show's up. Go.
All right, go. Anyway, so that's that. All right, cool. No doubt. So,
yeah. Thanks to everybody for the condolences. I really appreciate it. It's always hard when stuff like this happens. So thank you. I appreciate that. What else? Look out for I'll be recording with Lady April a little bit later on today, Lord's Minute. So look out for our impressions of the GTA 6 leaks. And I'm gonna be talking about that little GTA today. So it'd be interesting. So look out for that later in the week. And you know where I'll be? I'll be on that Steam Deck, baby. I'm gonna play that Arkham Origins.
Okay.
I threw on a bunch of stuff. I'm at the point I'm just throwing anything on there to see what sticks and what works and what doesn't.
You PC master race now.
Hey, listen, bro. I can't. I don't have time. I'd love to. Yo, dude. I turned on my Xbox for my niece last night, and I'm looking at my library. The library's damn near 800 strong. When am I gonna win?
No doubt. Attic is giving us the Sandman hook. He's like, yo, gotta get up and hurry up out of here.
Well, I don't know what's gonna happen at 4:45.
All right, King.
Okay, hold on. Let's speed through this.
Yes, King.
I'm done. Thank you.
Look, you got 3 minutes.
Yo, he gonna wait to talk out. Jesus.
My bad up right here. Thank everybody for hanging out with me yesterday in Combat Talk with the King. I really appreciate everything that you guys do.
Word.
Working on some stuff. Catch me on Twitter. King David OTW is the same name that's on Xbox. So if you want to play video games and hang out with me over there, I'm over there. On my PlayStation, whenever I can actually contact their customer service.
This man has the customer service issue for a year.
It ain't nothing there though. It ain't. There's nothing.
I'm starting to not believe this customer service problem you having. It's been a year.
Compelling. There's nothing compelling for me to force me to do. You know how you got to be forced to do something?
Yes.
It's nothing forcing me to do anything over there. Obviously, the numbers dictated. My PlayStation hasn't been turned on, and I need to turn my PlayStation on. Pause. So again, that's Xbox 360 level 01 over there. To know that's me, it's the one with the Ape Escape little icon. I'm the little monkey with the little fraud alert on
2
his
minutes.
head. I'm looking like this. This is me over there at the PlayStation.
You fraud over there. It's
like
perfect.
everybody else over there is not purchasing games. So it was a great show.
Yes.
I want to thank everybody that did come out. Please look forward to me and Attic doing a whole lot more stuff. Because I definitely want to get y'all guys in some games, some 100-player games, some 20-player games, 50-player games, and you know, and put this work on you, especially for you, R. Kelly. I want to catch you in these streets, R. Kelly.
Stupid.
When running across the yard, I want to hit you with the BB gun. Pop, pop, pop out. That's it.
No doubt. You already know LordCognito here. Addicts kicking me off the show. So look, that's all we got. Everybody enjoy. Next Sunday should be another big one. Tune in. Yeah, it should be a nice treat. Everybody enjoy your Sunday. We out.
Let's do some of this down.
Stop it.